Welcome back to Gil's Arena, presented by Underdog. Whoa! You already know we got a special one today, so we're gonna get right to it. As always, we got the legend, Gilbert Arenas, here with us. What's up, Gil?
What it do?
Y'all see, I got some Kobe's last week from Slam. I went upstairs to go rob Gil. My Kobe's were gone. I see what happened to him, Gil. You got the Kobe's on right now?
No, I was just borrowing them.
Okay. They like both ours. They like both ours. They like both ours. Appreciate you. We got NBA champion of the world, championship king, Nick Young in the house.
It's three, yeah, I forgot.
On this side of the couch, former #1 pick, the bully from Oak Cliff, Kenyon Martin, back here with us. And the man known as Cemetery Larry, Rashad McCants, is in the arena. So for all the fans out there, we still got 2 viewing options for you, our traditional version, mobile, vertical version. Pick whichever one you want to watch. Just make sure you support the show. Here's what's cracking in the arena today. The Thunder and Nuggets split their back-to-back games with SGA striking first and Joker striking back. How did these past 2 games impact the MVP race? The Cavs are in the midst of their second winning streak of at least 14 games this season, have the best record in the league. Should Cleveland be the favorite to win the chip this season? And the most important topic, of course, Stephen A. Smith. This show is brought to you by Underdog. Go ahead, download the app. Use promo code GIL. You get up to $1,000 in bonus cash plus a special pick'em. And because it's a special episode of Gil's Arena today, Underdog is offering a special to Gil's Arena viewers. Underdog is offering a free pick on any player of your choosing. Just click the link in the chat or scan the QR code to claim your prize. The special will be available throughout the show, so those of you who tap in later can take advantage as well. You see the sign, ladies and gentlemen. 138 days. We're hoping to get it to 0 in the very near future. And as always, if you can't watch this show on YouTube, we got audio versions available on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from. As a reminder, we are doing our Gillion subscriber giveaway. We are trying to get to 1 Gillion subscribers on the Gil's Arena YouTube. For every 1,000 subscribers we get between 900,000 and 1 million, Underdog is giving a lucky Underdog user $1,000 in bonus cash. So we are up to 955,000 subscribers on the channel as of this very moment. That means we are giving away at least $2,000 on the show today, but obviously we got a very special guest in the building, so it may jump up. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you can, and shout out to Rough Greens for sponsoring today's podcast. Ever see your dog slowing down or having health issues and wonder, what can I do to make them better? Rough Greens to your dog's food. You gotta add it. 90 days and you'll see changes that will amaze you, Kenyon, you know.
No, he was licking the bowl. I had to tell him this is gone, dog.
So
this morning before I left, he was like, I said, hey, ain't no more in there.
So invented by Dr. Dennis Black, Rough Greens wants to invite you to give your pup the Rough Greens 90-day challenge. In the first 30 days, you'll see shinier coats and increased energy. By day 60, your dog will have a stronger immune system, less shedding, and improved joint function, all due to the live nutrients you've added to their diet. And at 90 days, better digestion, reduced inflammation, improved heart health, and you might even have reduced their cancer risk. Fetch a free Jumpstart trial bag, normally $20, free with code ARENA. Just cover shipping.
Damn.
So go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFF greens.com and use promo code ARENA and just cover shipping.
What?
There's more, Shai. There's more.
What?
You don't have to change your dog's food to improve your dog's health. Just add a scoop of Rough Greens. Ken, you said you sampled it.
Oh, yeah, the dog love it. The trust.
The dog gonna live.
I need some more. Hey, my dog weigh a lot.
The dog
I use it regularly. Hey, Carol,
be here to
hey, I need another shipment because the dog.
I'll get it.
That's all right. The dog 220. He needs.
Shai, you like the lights on? You
oh no,
like
I got a whole human that.
On
I got a whole human at home.
Hey, we gotta do what we gotta do. We gotta bills to pay.
Ever since you've been on the movie shit, you've been doing doing longer monologues.
More than a host.
Them shit's been stretching out a little bit longer. Like this
it's
is
about me.
Hollywood.
Shit.
He trying to show people his range. I gotta let that man.
Are you gonna see range in a second?
Now.
You're gonna see range in a second, but let's get to it. Let's get to it. After a 138-day wait, the time has finally come. A man who needs no introduction.
What if it came out like this?
He's the king of TV. ESPN gives him whatever his heart.
Oh my God. What's up, baby?
man? What's going on, y'all?
Eating rough greens. Eating rough greens.
That shit was hilarious. I remember the song.
Of TV. Special guest making his first appearance in the arena, internationally known, nationally recognized, locally respected, host of the Stephen A. Smith Show on YouTube and everywhere you get your podcasts. New York Times best-selling author and host and executive producer of ESPN's #1 morning show, First Take, Stephen A. Smith. Welcome to Gilbert Arena.
What's going on? Can I start out by saying something first? It's been 138 days. Y'all keep reminding me of that shit. You got me there, right?
138 days?
And I'm going.
No longer, sir. It is
Check this
back to
out.
zero.
Check this out.
Stephen A. Smith is in the arena.
So now I can say it. I started negotiations 5 weeks beforehand. So what happened was that first of all, congratulations on the podcast, what y'all doing is special. That's why I'm here. So congratulations to all of y'all. But here's the deal. Y'all some wild ass brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm like, yo, I don't need to be going on there in the middle of my negotiation.
We dig it.
So the negotiations, just so that everybody knows, that shit took us 275 days. I've been negotiating for 10 months. Damn. I signed the deal last week. And the next day, you like, where you at?
Yeah, where you at?
I'm like this, I'm coming.
Already.
Deal's done, you know what I'm saying?
Right, hey.
So that's what happened. I just want y'all to know.
Congratulations, bro.
Thanks a lot. I didn't want to come in the middle of the negotiation.
I don't blame you.
That's all it was.
I don't blame you.
There we go.
Because one thing for sure, two things for sure, this shit can definitely go left at any given time.
That's right.
Don't let us that price. And don't let these N-words get in the way of your money, dog.
There we go.
Trust me.
That's all it was. That's all it was.
Jack.
You know? So that's it. So I'm here.
So we got a lot of
200 though. Huh?
You could have pushed it up.
Next to me, man.
Hey, you know, anything's possible. You know, I should have waited.
So we got a lot of things to discuss. First things first, as you mentioned, you got that new 5-year deal. Yeah. 8-figure range. We ain't pocket watching. We just say 8-figure range is what we've heard.
Right.
So what does it mean to you to sign a deal of that magnitude? And what does it say about your position in the sports media game?
Well, it's humbling. You know, unless you're an athlete or an artist, you don't expect to be able to sign for, you know, that kind of money. And so, you know, it's like I'm very blessed. I'm very fortunate. You know, I can sit up here and talk some shit, but yeah, you know, I earned it. I earned it in terms of the work that I put in, the hours, how hard I work. But that don't mean you gonna end up getting some shit like that. And so the fact that I was able to pull that off, it was a very, very big deal to me because I'm the cat that I wake up, I'm reading the Wall Street Journal. I'm reading, you know, the Financial Times and shit. It ain't just the tabloids and all of that stuff. So I'm monitoring the money. And then I'm monitoring who getting the money. And then I'm monitoring how is it relatable to what I do. And then I'm saying, well, wait a minute now. That person got that money. That person got that money. How you gonna justify? So, you know, if you ESPN and you in the news because you signed one of my colleagues to 5 years, 85 million, and another cat got 20 million a year, and then you look at Fox and Brady got 375. You're like, where do I fit in? And I'm looking at it from that standpoint, and I'm like, all right, this is my worth based on my ratings, the revenue that I know the show is generating, kind of knowing my business and stuff, because in 2009, when I got fired and I got let go, I mean, I was a dumbass. The fact of the matter is, I thought popularity was me being on commercials and being on the side of buses and stuff like that. And yo, that means I'm popular. Well, but I didn't have any knowledge of how to measure my worth. And so they came to the negotiating table and they said, you worth this. I thought I was worth that. They said, all right, shit, go out there and get it, find it. And then I went out there and there was no market for me in 2009, and they didn't want me back, so my career was in jeopardy. I was off, people don't realize this. From 2009, when they let me go, I was off the air until 2012, television. When I came back in 2011, I was confined and restricted to radio. Fox Sports had came and got me in 2010. Then in 2011, ESPN came back and get me, but they said you can only do radio, you can't do television. And it wasn't until I got on First Take that all of a sudden everything started, growing again and growing again. So all of that shit I brought into negotiations, my knowledge of what I experienced, what I went through, why I went through it. And then along the way, as I got these contracts, it would be, brothers coming up and I'm like, yo, this is what happened to me. Don't let that shit happen to you. And that's how it all happened.
Well, we appreciate you. We were monitoring your contract situation as well. And shout out to Underdog. Download the Underdog app. Use promo code GIL. Get up to $1,000 bonus cash plus a special pick 'em.
Yeah.
And be prepared to hear from our agent soon. But Stephen A., you have ducked us no longer.
Yeah.
We got to dump the sign.
Yeah.
All right, we got a lot to discuss. We're going to start with the biggest story in the league right now. So on the second night of a back-to-back, games between top MVP candidates Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Nikola Jokic, the two led their teams to another entertaining game. After OKC won the first game of this set, it was important for the Nuggets to respond, and they did. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from last night. We were watching on our playback watch party, playback.tv/Gilbert Arenas. For all of those who weren't aware, we had Mr. B on there as well. But Joker had 35 points, 18 rebounds, 8 assists, just 1 turnover in the win, played 40 minutes, was a remarkably efficient 15 for 20 from the field. Jamal Murray did his thing as well, 34 points and 6 assists in 40 minutes. He was 11 for 22 from the field, perfect 9 for 9 from the free throw line. On the OKC side, SGA had 25 points and 7 assists. We all remember he dropped 40 in the win over Denver back on Sunday. Lou Dort was actually the Thunder's leading scorer on the night with 26 points. Key injury note, All-Star Jaylen Williams missed the second half of this game after suffering a right hip strain. We'll be monitoring that situation in the coming days. But let's watch a little bit more of these highlights. Joker really did his thing, helping elevate his squad, getting his get back. Second night of a back-to-back against the Thunder in OKC.
Shai. He didn't take all them shots.
Yeah, SGA was not shooting like he said. He was looking to make a statement. Had an opportunity to make it.
Yeah, the
But
game.
Jalen Williams was
Cook.
No, but the game.
Hey. There's no Aaron Gordon either, so it wasn't,
See, I see stuff like this, and it makes me look at
that.
Oklahoma City a little differently. Like 1 minute, I think they the dogs to beat. And the next night, they'll turn around and lose, and I'm like, you can take them. You can take them. And that's what happened last year. They go on to play as the number 1 seed, and Kyrie and Luka give it to them, And I'm like, that's a series you could win, but SGA was the only one that showed up consistently. The other cats did it. And that's the kind of stuff that I look for at this late in the season. Yeah, you got Denver the first night. They came back and get you, but it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you got done. It's like for them to answer the way that they did last night is what gives me cause to pause about OKC.
Yeah, it's that being young, man. You don't understand the severity of each and every game. Like you gotta, if you're trying to make a statement, you're trying to prove that you're one of them teams to beat, you gotta show up again, man. And Denver knew the severity of this, right?
Right.
We're fighting for something. This man's MVP is at stake, so they fighting for him.
Right.
Yeah.
What was Jalen Williams' numbers at half?
Pull it up for you.
Yeah, I think he got. Did he get hurt last night?
Yeah, he missed the second half.
What, 22?
Half with the hip strain.
Yeah, 22 and a half?
Let me pull it up for you.
That's crazy.
Wi-Fi, Lil
Yeah,
Jenkins,
but no,
Stephen
I'm
A.
saying the game before when we was on our way back, right? From, so we always watching the game on our phone. We was coming back from San Diego, Dog Bowl. And we always like, man, this man really out here hunting shots, man.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like, I understand he averaged 32, Shay, but it looked bad the other day.
Jalen Williams had 12 and 6 in that
The first game,
half.
Sunday.
Okay.
12 and 6.
12 and 6. missed the second
Sunday's
half.
game. Shot the ball, 33,
32 times.
33
15
times,
for 32
right?
from the field.
Right.
In the foot, he got more like them makes he made, 4 late?
Yep. No, maybe
Like
5.
4, he made
Maybe
like
5.
5 straight.
5
maybe
late,
5 straight.
right?
At the
Fine
end.
again.
And so the 40, we were all like, yeah, but this is like, when you look at it, it's like, dude,
But
we get it,
let's
man.
analyze.
Do you see?
Like,
him
we
do
get
that,
it.
though?
Compared to last
But
night.
then,
Compared to
but then
last
they
night.
adjusted and you didn't take that.
But was it an adjustment, or was it Shai trying to dial back what he said? And see, the 40 and the 8 in a win feels good to the team, but it don't feel good to him. For some reason, I took too many shots.
Can I throw this at all of y'all?
That's a good thing.
I look at Jaylen. He the key.
Yeah.
See, I'm not worried about Shai.
Yeah.
He's shown me he gonna show up. To me, Oklahoma, I was debating with some cats about this. I don't know whether it was Big Perk or somebody else, but it was like, they were like, Chet Holmgren's the key. I'm like, yeah, but I expect him to do what he does. I expect Hartenstein to do what he does. Jaylen to me is the key, because if you got somebody other than Shai that you can say, here's the ball, take us there. Now they could go to the finals. But without that, I don't think so.
He's too young. He's too young to be putting that much pressure on him right now.
Even as a secondary option?
Right now. Because what they've done is, OKC, if they depended on SGA so much to the point where a 25-point game is not nearly enough to beat Joker and them after a 40-point game. 14 shots ain't nearly enough than the 32 that you just took. So you took a major step back in both production and, I'm not going to say direct leadership, but what we're looking for us to come back in the fourth, and we just lost the secondary option, you can't, 14's not enough. Now we need you to hunt shots.
But what I'm asking is, when you say it's too much, as a secondary option?
Yes.
No.
It's too much as
to
a
depend on
secondary?
him to carry the load. If he's not having a good game, it's his first year as an All-Star. He hasn't really shown that he can handle a load. He can't handle the pressure of, I gotta be the guy.
But I'm not.
I disagree with that. Yeah, he got to. Nah, you're an All-Star now, brother.
Was he supposed to be an All-Star?
Yes, absolutely, Jay.
Well, then they can't win.
Right.
Huh?
They can't win then.
Yeah.
Because if Murray is a second option,
Yes.
and we
You know what he gonna do. You know what he gonna do
if
when it
LeBron is the second option to the Lakers,
Right.
comparable.
Come on,
right?
man.
You're
Yeah,
talking about
that's what I'm
Jaylen
saying.
Brown
Yeah,
or Tatum.
Yeah,
You're
second
talking about
options.
Dame. So the fact that these are second options, if you can't rely on him to average at least 23 in the playoffs,
Man, easy
you can't
to.
be consistent,
Yeah.
you have no chance.
Yeah.
There's no chance of winning.
Can you ask me
baby.
this? And I ask all of y'all.
You know
this.
that shit different in the playoffs.
We're not questioning that he has the talent to do
No.
it, right?
No, we think he can do it.
He can do it. That's where I'm coming
The
from.
maturity.
Experience.
Right.
I'm saying
But-
the experience to handle the moments and the pressures of the 23 you talking about consistently. We needed game 4.
Right.
He ain't show up. We need you to give us
Right.
27 tonight.
Okay.
You can't give us 21.
But do you need that?
He
sometimes?
is not gonna be mentally ready to just dial that in.
And I guess what I'm saying
Be a
is,
focal point on somebody's scouting report.
Boom. We're gonna
Fair.
double him. We're gonna do this and
We're
Fair,
gonna
but
play
what
him
I'm
this
saying-
way.
yeah.
but what I'm saying is, because you lost last year, for that reason.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
reason.
If you ain't been there, I got it.
Yeah.
My point is, if you OKC, you can literally look at yourselves and go like this. If I showed up, we in the conference finals last year against Minnesota instead of Dallas. If he showed up, because Shai gave you 2 games. So I'm looking at him and I'm like, I don't need you to be Shai, but if you can give me that bona fide number 2 option on a night in, night out basis in a best of 7, we got the rest of it, because Caruso, Hartenstein with Holmgren has elevated their defense. You know Shai, who was my MVP last year, by the way. I voted for him for MVP.
He was the Gills Arena MVP as well.
Right. I voted for him for MVP. He's my vote this year. I'm looking at it and I'm like, I can depend on him. It's Jaylen that I'm worried about.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So, is Jaylen the actual second option, or is he the guy that's getting the leftovers?
That's a legitimate question.
Look at the game and what I'm talking about. Look at the game. SGA, the way he plays.
Right?
I gotta get mine. I ain't got it. Go.
Second option.
Leftovers. Section. If we talking about the second option, right? We talk about a guy who comes in and the coach is like, we gotta run shit for him.
You can't get left.
Not just
average 20.
like give him the ball and like Derek White is getting leftovers.
what he's saying.
Derek White's getting
That's
leftovers.
leftovers.
what he's saying.
Pritchard's getting leftovers, but they taking advantage of those
But when you
leftovers.
say leftovers, are you saying leftovers because schematically that's what ends up happening, or are you saying
Luka.
leftovers because Shai?
Kyrie was getting Luka's leftovers.
But what I'm saying is Shai might be ball hogging a little bit too much. I'm asking because there's a difference.
Because he can't get a rhythm. He can't get a solid rhythm. He can't. If
All right.
Jalen Williams can't get a solid rhythm if he always has the ball doing his thing.
I don't think he needs you right now. He's good.
I didn't even know they were behind.
Appreciate y'all.
Just in case.
All right, so look, we talked the SGA side, but let's talk a little bit the Joker side. So Nuggets and Thunder in the season with 2-2 series split. After the win, Jokic was asked about the MVP race and gave this quote. He said, "This is my third or fourth year in a row, so I cannot control it. I will say I think I'm playing the best basketball of my life. So if that's enough, that's enough. If not, SGA deserves it. He's really, really amazing."
And y'all said he don't want that. And he also
Even though you said SGA right now is your front runner for MVP.
I don't give a damn what
He
nobody.
wants that
says.
MVP.
Get my vote.
But do
He
you
wants that
agree
MVP.
that three-time MVP Nikola Jokic is playing the best basketball of his life?
I've seen him be. I've seen him be great.
This great?
Facts.
Like this? Like this?
And don't even say numbers. We're not even gonna talk
That-
numbers.
Just
we're
look
not
at
talking
it.
numbers. We're not talking numbers.
Just look at it.
Okay.
Who's stopping that?
Like,
Right
just
now.
look
Fair.
at it.
35, 18, and 8, off of that 30,
Whenever he
20
wants.
game.
Whenever he wants. Fuck,
Well, the thing-
Games
fuck,
Friday.
fuck him. 30, 20, and 20.
The
Fuck 'em.
rebounds aren't phasing me that much.
Of
The
course not.
assist,
It
the
should.
assists do because Cat's missing. They don't have a bunch of snipers on their squad, so those assists are legit. So in that regard, fine. But are we taking defense into consideration too? Because last time I checked, Shakes plays that.
He's second in steals.
Both tied for second in steals.
Come on now. Come on now.
Stop the
Chase,
second
I don't
Chase.
want to hear the shit.
Stop
Because it's
the
up there.
steals,
And if you want to
bro.
bring stats to me, you know what I'm going to do. I ain't want to, don't make me put this helmet on.
But for someone who doesn't look to score to average 30,
Stop saying don't look to score.
he
Please.
don't.
Not to average 30, though. He's not going out there saying, I'm
He don't.
I'm
He's not
trying to get 30.
I
Listen,
just told y'all.
him the other day, he shot that man. He shot what 9 threes the other night. We all was like, "Damn,
Man,
Nikola, like
he was
what
1 for 9.
the hell are you doing?" Right? It was out of his.
But
he doesn't look to go out that motherfucker for
But the
shots
comeback
at all.
would be this. Just because you don't look the part don't mean you ain't.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
what
not
I'm
saying
saying
that.
is, what
Yes,
I'm saying
man.
is,
Yes.
this he do shoot enough.
Why
He does. He'll pull up from 3.
Yes.
He'll pull up for perimeter.
When
He
it's
don't care.
necessary.
I'm just saying, but he views him. He's not just the number one option. He views himself as the number one option.
But
So,
why?
because he deserves it. He's worthy of it. I'm just simply saying because that's the case. Look at him. Look at Shai. Look. Denver's climbing. Denver's right there. We get that. What's Oklahoma City record right now?
They 11 games. In
They're like
12 games.
they're like 12 games ahead. And Shai averaging 32. I mean, he got numbers that's comparable to the shit Michael Jordan was doing.
Y'all argument is so flawed because
Okay.
if it was about winning, like you just brought it in, we'd be talking about Donovan Mitchell.
He's not
Well,
averaging 30. If he was averaging
That's
30,
why he got to average 30.
Why you got to average 30?
you can't throw him in. If you
Why?
only throw
Why
Jason
does
We
he
talking
have
about
to
the best
average
player
y'all
on the
don't
best
throw
team
Jason
in the
Tatum,
league.
if you
Donovan
don't
Mitchell
throw
ain't been
Jason Tatum
missing.
in there, you can't
Why
throw
not?
Donovan Mitchell.
Throw him in there as
Why?
well.
Throw him in
saying.
there. Throw him in there.
If
But
it's about winning-
Donovan Mitchell's number one.
But they've been penalizing Jason Tatum for years for it.
That's what I'm saying.
Here's the argument I throw back. Hold on.
His number's not good enough.
I hear you. Here's my
32.
Here's my comeback to refute that. Let's look at Oklahoma City. You just finished bringing up how you can't trust Jaylen.
Yeah.
You
Right.
don't know if you can trust Jaylen. We all acknowledge what Jokic got around him. There's an absence of depth, and you don't have shooters, right? What don't Cleveland have this year?
They didn't have a consistent coach. They just got a
No,
new
I'm
coach.
talking about this year. I'm only talking about this
so
year.
they had to
Atkinson?
everything new. And DeAndre Hunter.
That's right, you
came in.
put
It's
that
the
on
only
that
time
line.
they lost to Boston was that game that he didn't get to play during that trade.
Right, they're undefeated with him in the lineup.
How many different 10-game win streaks have Cleveland had?
Boston beat
How
him
many?
by 30.
Yeah,
Three.
10 games.
I think this-
3 10-game win
They
streaks.
had plus 12.
They're on the verge of
Already.
having their second 15-game winning
And we're
streak.
not talking
14.
about a guy who's already in this league
He's in the
for
conversation.
70 points.
He's in this conversation, but you also got to take this into consideration. We look at the East. We respect the Knicks, but we looking at Cleveland and Boston. It's a 2-horse race. In the Western Conference, it's wide open. So they got to take that into consideration as well. That might be a reason why everybody's been mentioning Shai and Jokic, because we can't have Jokic fall in the 3. We can't have that. So we know he's cemented at least at number 2,
But why can't
possibly
we put
number
Giannis
1.
up there?
Giannis?
Why is Giannis being?
Because Milwaukee was
Because you no Donovan, no Giannis, nobody in the East except for you. Everybody want to mention Tatum, who underneath
y'all don't mention
who
Tatum.
underneath those other two,
Tatum
he's
will get no
underperforming.
credit.
He's performing at MVP level, but not like Donovan Mitchell, not like Giannis. Then we got on the other side, Shai and Joker. It's
Top
like the
2.
conversation is flawed because of what side you play on.
So do you believe that it's fair to put Shai and Jokic as 1 and 2 and everybody else in the conversation out of the East?
I would rather say Joker and Giannis have the conversation and Shai and Donovan be in the conversation. Head up, head up.
Can be
No,
head
it
up, head
can't
up.
be
One
head
has
up.
3 All-Stars
Yeah.
on one team. Cavs.
They're both number 1.
They have the reason
They're both number 1. So it shouldn't even matter.
it's hard to put one in because he does have 2 extra All-Stars on his team, and then they traded someone that has 18, who's averaging 18 points off the bench. So his team is actually a lot better than people
So
think.
Cleveland has 4 All-Stars?
3 All-Stars.
So they have
But
so what's the name has 2 All-Stars. OKC
Yeah.
got 2 All-Stars, right? And Chet.
Both of them got
could've
one new
popped-
All-Star.
And,
but both of them got one new All-Star.
Garland is a better All-Star, a better player than Jaylen Williams is.
Okay.
At this moment, you said?
Okay.
Yeah.
Therefore, Nikola is the MVP.
I mean, in the
Yeah, that's
future,
what I'm
I'm
saying.
talking about
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah, right
now,
And then you got Mobley,
If we
right?
talking-
So you
if
got
we talking
it is
Mobley.
a better team, so he's doing less, so he gets penalized. We all know that.
Yeah, so Nikola is the only one who
Nikola has no All-Star.
no All-Star.
No
Has
All-Star.
never had an All-Star.
All right.
Never had an
And he's been doing his thing. But
and better
But he
than
has
he
a better
has,
team.
What he been doing?
and
But he has a
better
better
than he
team.
was in them
But
previous
he has
years
a
when he
better
won
team than
MVP.
OKC.
But yes, he has a better team than OKC because they're a young team.
Joker-
Murray is better than Jaylen Williams, right? So it's
Better
just
player,
unfortunate.
but he's not an All-Star.
But he just hasn't made that All-Star game.
yeah.
But he's a better player
Yeah.
than what's the name. But
At
he can
this
still
moment,
say,
yeah.
"Hey, I don't have an All-Star here,
Absolutely.
and this is what we've been doing."
Absolutely.
Joker
He
on the
has that
verge
point.
of being the first big man to average a triple-double, doing it very efficiently. Also on the verge of being the first player in league history to be top 3 in points, rebounds, and assists. And if we're talking about an individual accolade award, it's not a team award, right? It's
Well, they
most
just jerked
valuable
Lamar.
player.
Well, one thing for sure,
it
they
changes.
just jerked Lamar Jackson for MVP as well. So
It's-
if we're talking about history don't matter with this conversation at all. Because what Lamar Jackson just did in the NFL was something we have never seen before,
That's true.
right? And so they give it to Josh Allen. Granted, he had a great season, absolutely, not taking anything away from Josh Allen. So it'll be the same thing in this situation. Nikola is doing something we've never seen before.
As
So
a big,
because the other, just a basketball player.
You're
fuck
saying
big,
if that's the
a
no,
basketball
you're,
player.
You're saying
I've
if
seen
that's the
triple-double
judgment, if that's the
before.
criteria. That's what you're saying.
I've
Say it
seen
again now?
triple-double
You're saying is
before.
that if that is the criteria.
What is the?
Because I'm looking at Lamar Jackson, for example. We
Yes.
looked at Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson did shit we never saw before, fair enough.
Yes.
But they came into the season having acquired Derrick Henry, and they were projected to be arguably the favorites outside of Kansas City to get to Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
Whereas Josh Allen lost both receivers, Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis.
That's
Yeah.
a
But
bullshit
he's-
cop
Why?
out because
Yeah, he's still-
Lamar Jackson didn't go ask for Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
So you can't penalize him for being the MVP because he got a good player,
but-
just like
but with-
Saquon Barkley.
but with-
Just like Saquon-
but-
it's like you can't
having
penalize
less,
him.
so if he didn't have him,
Right.
No.
the numbers are still like
It's still Lamar Jackson.
It's still
He's won
Lamar
it twice
Jackson,
already.
right?
Nobody's
He's won
denying-
it.
No.
less picks with the major running back with,
Right.
through less picks than he have at any time in his
More
career.
touchdowns.
More touchdowns. Rushing yards,
Right.
900 yards
Yeah,
rushing,
they kill
4,200
Lamar.
yards
They kill
passing.
Lamar. They kill.
But to take nothing away from Shai or Nicole, whoever wins it, right? Like I said, if we really concentrate on the history of the game and the thing like not to taint the history of the game and shit like that, then let's be like, we've seen someone average 32 before.
We've seen somebody average a triple-double before.
This doesn't
So
look
what
like
makes
this.
Because he's big.
So
that's
when the
what
guy
makes
did
him
average a
the best
triple-double,
triple-double
so how many triple-doubles did Russ average?
3.
4.
How many MVPs did he
straight.
win?
He won.
One.
So it
became
doesn't
selfish.
matter.
But it became
We
selfish.
seen it, but we did. It became
It
who?
became stat pattern when Russ
not-
kept-
Have you ever did it?
I'm just saying.
Have you
Russ
ever did
with
it?
Stat pattern.
Have you ever
But
tried
you
to pad
should.
your
It's
stats in
stat
every
pattern.
regard?
Now Joker is just
Have you
the best
ever tried to pad your stats?
Man, just-
Huh? And then how did that shit go for you? And how did that shit work out?
Then,
So therefore, you can say that shit all you want. That shit take effort.
Joker doing more.
It
Fuck
don't
talking this fucking.
It don't take effort.
Like,
it don't take effort.
it don't
when you
take
playing
effort?
against Gilbert. It don't take effort.
Have you averaged?
It don't
Have you
take
ever
effort.
averaged 10 rebounds, Nick?
Go Bird.
Huh?
It don't
you
take
ever averaged
effort.
10 rebounds?
When you playing against nobody. Shit, you the best
NBA is
big in
playing
the
Is
against
that where we're
nobody.
going with the conversation?
I'm just saying, Shai got to go up
Moving the
against
goalposts.
every.
You
trying
It's
to-
nothing but
my leg
great
is
guards.
strong.
Your goalposts.
I'm just saying,
strong.
great guards in the NBA.
Great
You can't
guards,
name
yes.
another
Now,
great
you
big
talking about
five.
just
basketball
made an
players
exception
here.
about Cleveland, though,
Yeah, we
right?
talking about
I mentioned
basketball
about
players.
Cleveland. I mentioned
Y'all
Dallas. Mitchell. You
criticize-
say he got
criticize
more.
Shai for taking
He got
a lot
more
of shots.
all-stars on his
Absolutely.
You
team.
gotta do what you gotta
All
do
of a
to
sudden.
win.
His coach
Y'all
put him back in the
criticize
game
when
to score
Kobe did
50.
it.
That shit
Kobe
corny.
did it. Nobody criticized.
His coach put him back in the game to
Mamba
score 50.
mentality when you.
His
when
coach
you
put him
Kobe.
back in the game to score 50. That shit corny.
All right. Now
He
just
go out
said
that
Joker don't
motherfucking
look like
tear
he's
his
trying
shit
to
up.
score.
Now we have a
Joker
whole
don't look
different
like he's trying to
conversation.
get scored, but he just
Coach
said he
put him
wanna
back
win
in to
MVP.
score 50. That shit's corny.
Crazy.
Hey, he didn't say he wanted to win MVP. He said,
should.
I've won 3 or 4 of these
He's having a great
already.
season.
If
I'm
you
playing
don't
the
give it
best
to me,
basketball of my
I'm
life.
cool. But I think you
I
should
feel like I'm
because
having the best year ever.
Okay, when we have these two type of players that's really making an argument for themselves.
Right.
And you said you already saying Shai. Wouldn't that be a closed door on all information that
No, no.
Jokic would bring in? Like,
with
what-
20 more games left.
That's totally fair. What I'm saying is, if Shai continues on the path that he's on, and Jokic does the same, I'm going with Shai. I don't mean to imply that Shai can fall off the map and what he has done up to this point, it stops. He stinks up the joint the last 20 games of the damn year, but I'm going to vote for him anyway. That's not what we mean when we say something like
That's
that.
what it sounds like.
I'm sorry.
What the fuck it sounds like to me. No matter what he do for the rest of the way, you already got your mind made up.
But you can't tell me
it's
why
tough to have
Shai
you
wins.
on the jury then, because
Yeah.
if you go on the motherfucking jury, you already got your mind made up.
We got
this
the
motherfucking
footage.
guilty.
We got the footage.
Right? We got the
wrong?
footage.
We
got the
He
footage
did not
right
kill
here.
that man.
So check this
and
out.
you go in there, motherfucker, like,
25.
he
Yo.
didn't fucking do
At
it. We saw him
25.
shoot him.
Guilty,
You know you fucked up.
guilty.
You bought the beer. You know you fucked
Guilty,
up, right?
If they're guilty as charged, if you go, to use his analogy, if you rob a deli, right? If you robbing a deli, somebody say you robbed a fucking deli, and then they got footage of you.
Yeah.
You right? And they show me the footage, and it's you. You got that right. I'm assuming you guilty at that point.
Yeah.
Now I didn't walk into the courtroom thinking you guilty, but once they showed me that shit, we might have 5 days of trial left to go. Don't tell me that somebody's waiting for the next 5 days before making a decision. Come on, none of us do that. At some point in time, you ain't gonna wait. You ain't gonna wait till the last game of the season. You ain't gonna wait till the last game of the season. At some point in time, you gonna make the call. Yo, this is where I'm at. Now it's too early to do that. So that's fair. I understand that. And based on what I said, you're absolutely right. I'm telling you what I mean is,
Okay. Tell me what you
I'm assuming he's doing the same shit. Jokic is doing the same shit they both been doing. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
Now, if he falls off the map the last 20 games of the season, then I got to come back and go like this. Yeah, I got to change my damn mind. I know I said that shit, but this is where I'm at.
Let me ask you a
I'm waiting
question.
on that day then.
You watch boxing, right?
I love boxing.
Love boxing.
Yes, right.
Okay, Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, me too.
You think he would ever lose going the distance on the scorecard as the actual champion? Even if it was a close fight.
Are you ready for my answer?
Who are they gonna give
Are
the
you ready
fight?
for my
You
answer?
gotta get knocked out.
It depends on who the fuck he's fighting.
If he's fighting Manny Pacquiao, he's fighting.
They would have let me tell you, if it were close and it was a decision, they'd have gave it to Manny.
If
it wasn't
Floyd
close.
is the champ,
I'm saying they would have gave it to Manny. It just wasn't close because Manny couldn't hit him.
do you have to beat the champ,
Yeah, because he waited 12 years.
or
to
do
fight.
they give you the? Do they ever just give you a?
You
point?
love boxing, right? So that means you know who Marvelous Marvin Hagler is, right?
course.
Well, how did he feel when he fought Sugar Ray?
Did he do a rematch?
Huh? No, they wouldn't get. He didn't want it because he felt he was appalled that he got robbed. He was appalled that he got robbed. He said, "I'm the champion. I'm chasing this motherfucker around, and y'all gonna just give it to him when he ran for 2.5 rounds, fought the last 30 seconds,
Now, is
and y'all
Joker
gonna give it to him."
running?
Huh?
Joker not
Joker
running.
not running. No.
Joker
I'm just
not
using a
running.
boxing analogy. I'm just using a boxing
saying,
analogy.
you gotta knock him out to win.
But-
He's won this too many times. He's produced
Why did he
and
win?
shown his value as the most valuable
He
player
won because-
too many times. You were a newcomer. You're like Allen Iverson. You're like Kobe and his, like you like KG when he won his. It's like,
Okay.
you gotta do some shit. We like, yo, we gotta give it to him.
Okay.
We gotta give it to him.
What you about to say, fool?
Why he win last year? Because he was close to getting the triple-double, right?
No, he was one because he was the best player in the fucking NBA.
And it was close to a triple-double.
Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
I'm just saying. Why he win? It was close
Well, so then I said
Close
this
on the counts and horseshoes and hand
last year.
grenades.
I said,
We thought Shai should have been MVP last
And
year.
I
I'm
said we
saying
did.
on this
Them
couch, we
voting
thought,
Shai.
but Nikola was the best player in the NBA last year.
I said, the fact that Nikola won last year, it left too much room for him to win it again. There's nothing Shai was going to do that's going to increase it because you already had somebody who averaged 33, 8, and 9, right? So what Shai's going to do versus what Jokic has the potential doing, he can put up his scoring. He's going to have 10 and 9. He can average a triple-double.
Yeah.
Almost a triple-double won it.
Yeah.
A triple-double wins it. He averages damn near 39 and 9, he wins it. Like, there's too much room for improvement where they could have gave it to Shai to save himself. Now you're kind of be, it'd look really horrible for the athlete side to have a dude win these MVP awards with worse records than he had, right? Worse numbers than he had. To see him pull a triple-double, he might fuck around, put a 50 ball out here with a triple-double, 10 and 12, and then you sit here like, all right, Shai, you got it, right? It just
doesn't make sense.
And that's the problem sometimes in the inconsistency, because as a player training and we're going into the season, we don't know what we're fighting for. Like, we don't know what we're doing this for.
Right.
Like Jason Tatum is really confused with y'all. He's like, I sacrifice individual awards.
Right.
I sacrifice scoring titles and all this
respectfully, you just made me laugh. Because you said y'all. No,
I'm just media.
You too.
You vote, though. You gotta fucking vote.
We new media.
gotta vote.
I'm getting there.
We new media.
I'm getting there right now.
We new media.
I'm getting there right now. It's y'all and shit. Let me tell you this. Listen, let me use the example. I'm not talking about the literal
Shit, give me a vote, please.
I'm not talking about the literal vote for a second. This show right here epitomizes the problem that the media has with voting.
Absolutely.
Because we'll go and we'll talk to y'all and got 4 or 5 different damn opinions. And then when we reach a conclusion, everybody bitching.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, where we get it from? I'm talking, like, I didn't play, you did. I wasn't good enough to be on that level, y'all was. I came to you, y'all sitting in the locker room together.
Yeah.
And then go like this. This brother, Swaggy P, like, yo, Stephen, it got to be Shai.
Yeah.
Gil, it got to be Jokic. It got to be Jokic. Him, it got to be Shai. All of a sudden, we go out there. Motherfucker don't know what he talking about. Well, where we get it from? It ain't like we sat in a bubble, not talking to anybody. Nah. We walk, that's right. We walk in the locker room. We talk to the cats who do this. We reach out to Hall of Fame, because y'all know this. Cats that are veterans, cats that retired. You won the championship and shit. You a Hall of Famer, all of this other stuff. You ain't sitting at home being silent. Who you think calls us? Who you think texting? Who you think talking? Yo, man, I gotta holler at you. What the hell was you? Where you get that vote from? What was you thinking when you said that shit? And I'm like, no, this ain't us talking in a bubble. We talking to y'all. But then we can't, because obviously most of the conversations off the record. Don't quote me on this. That's what a lot of them say. Don't quote me on this. It's just us talking. But I'm telling you, you don't know what the fuck you talk about. Why would you say that? Well, they don't know this Hall of Famer said that, and this one said this, and you taking all of these opinions into consideration while you're watching. So I laugh about it when you say the media, because if you really are media, your intel comes from those who know. Anybody that tells you that they just know this shit, that didn't play on y'all level, fuck them, ignore them. Don't listen to them. Pay no attention to them. The number one thing that should come out of your mouth is, yo, I got this from somewhere, y'all. I talked to these cats. This is what they said. And they gave me this to consider. They told me to go back and watch that. That's what media is supposed to be, not the other shit that people be trying to put.
But here's the thing, though. Swaggy, you do not have an MVP vote. Cemetery Larry, you don't have an MVP vote.
Right.
Kenyon, you don't have an MVP vote. Gil, you do not have an MVP vote. But you have the ability and the power to sway
Sure.
MVP vote with your vote.
Sure.
But my question for you is, as an MVP voter, how do you feel about potentially being responsible for players making or losing millions of dollars? All NBA, MVP.
I hate it. I think there is no way something like that should mess with a cat's money. Let me tell you something right now. Klay Thompson has a legitimate case to hate media for the rest of his life. They cost him $30 million. Yeah. I wasn't one of them because I had him third team All-NBA. And I could have put Kemba Walker in that year because he had dropped like 30, 28, 29 a game for Charlotte. I refused. Not just because it was comparable, but I knew that wasn't going to cost Kemba money. You going to cost Klay Thompson $30 million? $30 million. He's a champion. I think at the time it was 3 chips. Mm-hmm. He had 3 chips. He's one of the Splash Brothers, universally recognized one of the greatest shooters ever in the history of the game. First 7 or 8 years, shoot better than 40% from three-point range with Steph Curry as his superstar teammate. And you gonna cost this brother $30 million. Now, knowing you going in the vote and knowing your vote gonna cost him $30 million, there's nothing inside of you that said, yo, man, I gotta help this brother get the $30 million because he deserves it.
Yeah.
It ain't like he didn't earn it.
Yeah.
He deserved it. If that man hates the media for the rest of his life, if I was Klay Thompson, you know what I would do? Any media member that wanted to talk to me, I would be like, you had that vote that year? Who'd you vote for? That's what I would do. I said, I want to know who cost me that damn money. That would be me. Because that shit was unforgivable. Yeah. I will openly confess that. We should not be messing with cats' money like that. We shouldn't have any say in that. I don't know how that happened. Honestly, but there's no reason, there's no excuse for it.
They
None.
don't have the responsibility. They put the onus on y'all.
Yeah.
But okay,
Shit,
and I blame them for that.
It ain't me. Hey, listen, it ain't me. It's them.
Should it just stick to shoe contracts and bonuses versus actual contract money on first team, second team, third team? Because that is a problem where you're sitting there. I might have a great relationship with you. He got the numbers, and I'm sitting here like, yeah, he ain't give me an interview last week. Fuck him.
Right.
And then, you know what I mean? Because we know that's killing
Or he didn't answer my question the way I wanted him to answer the motherfucker.
And we know that.
Damn, anything like just hold on to that shit.
So should that be taken out of part of
Come on now.
getting extra money?
You can make an argument for that because if you can point to it costing cats money, then I say you do something about that. If it warrants that extreme measure, you do it. Because what you do on the court is what you do on the court. Now, everybody can't make it. Everybody can't make first, second, third team. I understand that. But I know this much. I should have no say in costing the cat money.
Yeah.
I should have no say in that. That's wrong. And I've always been adamantly opposed to that.
Yeah, I don't like the Supermax.
Yeah.
Right? Here's why. Let's say I'm LaMelo Ball. I don't make no All-Star, I don't make All-NBA team because of how you vote.
Right.
I'm a Supermax to this fucking city.
Yeah.
I'm not a regular max. I am a Supermax player to my city and to the league itself. But there's only 15 names you can pick.
Okay.
Right? And some of those guys is getting it because the team wins. So as a player who's averaging 29, 8, and 5, and y'all don't give it to me, I am pissed off.
Well, I don't know anybody that's averaging 29 and ain't making the first, second, or third team. That's number one.
What if they won 15 games?
Yeah, that's
Remember Tracy McGrady in Orlando?
And just so y'all know, just from my perspective, I don't want to interrupt you, but just from my perspective, let me say this. There's a star. When you start talking about superstars, right? Understand this is where I'm coming from. This is me. There's a difference between a superstar player and a superstar. See, when you want certain kind of money, I want you to be box office because that's generating revenue for me. You understand what I'm saying? Now, there's a number that you should be paid based on your ability, your achievements, your level of production. And then there's that other level where, wait a minute now, that brother contributes to the bottom line. Like when Kobe or LeBron or an MJ or various others throughout history, Tim Duncan was a superstar player. You didn't walk through the turnstiles to see Tim Duncan. You knew he was great. You knew he was going to win, but you didn't walk through the turnstiles to see him. You walked through the turnstiles to see Shaq Diesel. You walked through the turnstiles to see a Jason Kidd. You walked through the turnstiles to see the Kobes, the LeBrons, the MJs, cats like that. You didn't walk through the turnstiles to see a Scottie Pippen. Talent-wise, give him the max. But when you start talking superstar, now it's like, wait a minute, are you box office? I think there has to be a category for that too.
But does that have to do with winning?
Security.
Right? So like Ja Morant, right? He's box office.
Okay.
Right? There's certain people that's box office,
Right.
but you know, the winning and all that stuff.
You got the mask on.
Well, I only brought it up because you brought up how you were talking about Supermax cats and I'm a Supermax in this city.
Yeah.
Well, if you're a Supermax in this city, then I should be making revenue because of you. I'm not talking about
them numbers with them goddamn jerseys. Listen, Melo Ball.
Hey, Ja Morant's making that. You're gonna make money in that city. But if
I don't know about that.
No, but what I'm saying, if his split.
Are they mad at me too about that? But they listen.
No, but what I'm saying is.
That city don't know about that. But
no, what I'm saying is JJJ, right? He gets the defensive team or he makes All NBA.
Yeah, we know what that is.
He's Supermax,
Defensive
right?
player of the year would've got
But the Supermax is Ja Morant. He is the superstar of the team.
Yes.
But the third option
he
might
is
be
too.
Supermax on the contract.
yeah, he is too.
Cemetery Larry, go ahead.
Unfortunately for him.
Oh no, I mean for the new rules.
But fortunately for him.
Cemetery Larry, saw you raising your hand.
Well, let's go back to the vote, right?
Okay.
How often is a member of the media manipulated into changing their vote by said reasons? Is there manipulation attached to being a voter?
I need specific with that question. because-
Intimidation.
Nah. I can't imagine that.
Can't imagine that.
I can't imagine intimidation. You intimidated into vote for one person over the other?
Or, I run up on you and I tell you, a certain thing or two, and I say, man, I would have considered voting for you for MVP, but now I don't really like you like that. I feel like you crossed the line. Is there a biased judgment when it comes down to media and player? When you talk about Charles Barkley, he has a vote. Him and Kevin Durant don't really get along, do they? He can get along with a lot of players. Does that relationship matter?
With some, you're probably right. With me, it doesn't. I don't give a shit whether I like you or not. Your level of production speaks for itself. I'm not going to shred my credibility by letting my personal feelings about you interfere with my judgment about what everyone sees you do. And there's no excuse for it. As far as I'm concerned, a journalist that does that shouldn't be allowed to vote. A matter of fact, I'd make the argument they should be fired.
So how do we separate the player-media dynamic when it comes to personal and, let's just say, business?
It's hard.
How do we not cross those lines?
There's lines that shouldn't be crossed, and the media's got to call the media to the carpet for doing shit like that. It can't just be y'all as players. We got to be able to do that too.
So therefore, we think whoever vote, this shit should just be, put it all out there, right? Whoever voted for who, everybody got to vote. We all should know it, right?
I totally agree with that.
Right?
I can't stand
that anonymous
confidential
shit, confidential votes, like all that.
Nah,
shit,
I totally agree with that.
But everybody that got to vote, we need like every single.
I have no problem.
For whatever it is, put it out there, right?
I have no problem with that. And I prove it.
Because they know how much money motherfucker make every game, right?
I prove it because any vote that I make, I put on national television.
Yeah, you always say.
I always say, this is who I voted for.
I dig.
Here's why.
Do you think that MVP candidates deserve criticism?
I think anybody deserves criticism. I think this is the important part. Criticize what people do, not who they are.
Yeah.
You don't fucking know them.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Unless you have personal experience with them and you're able to say, this is how I feel based on my dealings with him, and you put that out there for public consumption, you got no business feeling any kind of way.
Do you think LeBron has been fairly criticized?
Sometimes.
Do you think you've been fairly criticized?
Me?
Yes.
I think I've been fairly criticized. I think at times where I have a problem with people criticizing me is when you try, I'm not talking about y'all, I'm just talking about anybody. When you try to talk about my character, who the hell I am, if you got a problem with something I said, I'm good with that. If you got a problem with my actions, I'm good with that. Because I'm either defend myself or I'm going to have to own up like, yo, you right. But when you act like you know me and you don't take into account my history, I've been covering sports for 30 years. And I can't tell you the shit that I don't say, that I don't touch. There are lines I never, ever, ever crossed. And so when somebody is talking about me like that, I'm like, yo, where you get that from?
Are you the GOAT in your industry?
I leave that to other people to judge. I know that I try to get paid like one.
Do you feel like you've done some unprecedented things
Yes.
to pave the way?
Yes. That's
All right.
that last word right there, to pave the way. Yes,
So
I
you're a GOAT in your industry.
Yep.
There's a GOAT in our industry.
Yep.
Right? You're a reflection of that. So everything you criticize us for, we get to now criticize you for.
Sure.
Because guess who's not above criticism?
Mhm.
The criticizer.
Sure.
So we have to bring the same response and energy as a player, right? If we can't get on a podcast and articulate our emotions about the shit you saying about us properly, i.e. the Kwame Browns and all the other players that if they say something back to the media about the media, they get trumped, they get killed because I'm in contract. Now I look disgruntled. Now I'm defending myself against somebody that I want to fight or feel some type of way about. So we have to internalize that, right? So when we see y'all in public, if we get the opportunity to say something, God damn, this is the only time I'll actually get to say something. But now it's 360 it. We're in the position now to say something and criticize you.
Can I come back with
Straightforward.
Yeah.
So if we could criticize you now,
Yeah.
and you can criticize us for playing the victim for your criticism, we too sensitive. You can't take that. But now it's back on you now.
Okay.
You got to be able to take our criticism of how you criticize us.
Well, I'm assuming you talking about the industry, because you can't be talking about me.
I'm
'Cause
talking
I take
about
criticism every day.
everybody
I take
that
criticism every day.
criticizes, including us.
Well, hold on.
We criticize a lot of players. It is because we play and we care. It's tough love. As players, we don't like the outsiders saying certain things because they haven't played. They're spectators. We respect the point of view. But when we hear it, like you just said, you don't know me. You don't do. I'm looking at you in the reflection like, yeah, bro, we feel the same way you feel.
Right.
we got the same energy you feel,
I gotta
but you
respond.
get
I gotta
attacked
respond.
way less.
All right, I got to respond.
Because the guys on your platform not gonna attack you. Because you are
Hold on,
ready
what
to
guys
go.
on my platform? Who? What you
Well, the
mean?
guys that are on your level, your playing field, the Will Bonds and all of those guys, you got one enemy.
Right.
You know who he is. So that's one guy.
Right.
Right? You look at all of the guys we criticize on a daily basis. They hear us talking.
Right.
They pissed. They don't want to talk to us either. But to see you get blackballed is because it's karma.
Okay. Can I respond? First of all, when we talk about the media, I'll get to me in a second. When you talk about the media, here's the part that former players like yourself don't realize. Y'all look at the media as the big bully on the block sometimes. Y'all don't realize that in this day and age, y'all are the big bullies. Because as former players, understand that the media industry has changed. Print has dissipated dramatically. Podcasts ain't free. Most motherfuckers in the media don't make that kind of paper. You don't have sponsors going to newspaper reporters or local radio hosts offering them a podcast that could pay them 7 figures. Motherfuckers out here making $75,000, $90,000.
That's what we're making?
So I'm just saying.
Okay.
And I said the newspaper. I said newspaper. So what I'm saying is, I said the newspaper folks. I ain't say y'all. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Do a little bit better, but
Stay
I
with
expect-
me. So what I'm saying is, when you talk about the media industry, the potency and the power that the former player has resonates significantly. Why? Because you're players and you have credibility. Because you have sponsors and advertisers who know that and come to y'all instead of them. Because y'all did it. They couldn't. We couldn't, right? Then on top of it all, the industry has changed. Remember, it was .com. And then it became the podcast. And a whole bunch, you got, Lord knows how many hundreds of thousands of podcasts. But everybody ain't Gil's Arena.
Right.
Everybody ain't about to touch on 1 million subscribers. Everybody don't have, the sponsorship dollars. Everybody don't have this. You see some of these motherfuckers with a podcast, they sitting on a couch, just got 2 seats. They got a little camera, they got a little microphone, shit, squeezing in with one another, trying to make sure they could be seen and all. Yo, they ain't got it like that. You see what I'm saying? So, and then on top of it all, the credibility isn't the same because y'all played and you were in the locker room. So when you talk about the media, you talk about the media like they the big bully on the block, most of the people in the media looking at y'all like, ain't this some shit? Do y'all realize who y'all are and what y'all doing? Now we'll get to me. I'll talk about me now. Obviously, what the fuck I just said don't apply to me. It's a little bit different.
You do have a show, though, on YouTube as well. Over 1 million subscribers.
Oh, that's right. So I'm doing my thing.
Talk that talk.
Now,
trying to catch you.
Now, listen, and I hope you do. That's why I ain't here to hurt the show. I'm here to help.
We're not.
You understand? I got love for y'all. It ain't no good. Y'all get on me. That's all love. I could care less. If you right, you right. I'll say so. If you wrong, I'll challenge it. It's just that simple.
Absolutely.
But to get to me, now here's the deal. Am I going to criticize? Sure. I focus on what you do, not who you are. I remember when my man Ryan Clark for The Pivot was interviewing Kwame Brown. I said to Ryan, if there's one regret I had, man, they still running memes of my video. Man, that was 16, 17 years ago. I didn't know it was going to resonate and be like that. I was just speaking about like, damn, I didn't think he was a great player. Shit. I mean, damn, I wasn't alone. Everybody was saying that. But they held on to my meme, right? But the reason why I brought up the whole Ryan Clark thing, do you know why? Ryan Clark allowed this man to sit up there and say, I want y'all to brace yourself, don't faint.
Yes.
This man said, I cost him endorsement dollars. And I'm sitting there going like this. See, I can't, because at that moment, I'm looking at,
Mommy said that?
yes. I'm looking at this, right? And I'm going like this, y'all. I want to, and this is where I'm different. I want to see what NBA player gonna sit back and let this man get away with saying that shit. Because this is, come on, y'all. You can hate on me. You can come on, y'all.
But sometimes
I'm just saying.
That does happen, though.
I'm just saying to y'all. It's like, listen.
Never.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
No, the media can
I was there.
double down on
You know what I'm saying?
If you
There
ask,
was
I feel like number
no
one pick.
sponsorships coming.
Come on, man.
It wasn't, but
You gonna
the
say that?
double down?
Stop it.
Could kill, like, really
I'm just saying. It's like if we gonna sit up there and talk about being real, then let's be real and fair. I'm not wrong all the fucking time. Yeah. I mean, shit, if Stephen A. Wright, say it. Because if Kenyon or Rashad or you, if you say something, I'm going like this. Shit, you called me out 130 days. You was on, where the fuck is Stephen A? Shit, you came on his show.
138.
And I went like this. He's right. He's right. Negotiations don't, but he's right. So I'm like, you just gonna let people say, and I'm just using that as just one of many examples where, yeah, I'm critiquing it, but I was sitting courtside. I was a beat writer for years. For over a decade, I'm at over 120 games a year. I'm in the club afterwards. I'm on the streets afterwards. Come on, the access to information that I have and the shit that I could have said, and I'm going like this. All I'm talking about is your game. Your game. And so when cats get sensitive and they get mad about that, I'm like, well, I remember when Jordan got mad at me one time. Last point. Jordan got mad at me one time. And I literally looked at Michael Jordan and I said, you know what, fuck it, $250,000. He said, what? I said, because you want me to be your publicist. You want me to be a journalist. You don't want me to be somebody covering the damn league. You want me to say what you want me to say. Can I do my job? It's like I'm covering the game. I'm covering the game. Now, if y'all know the difference, and when a cat crosses the line, shit, y'all would check him in a heartbeat, and you should. And you should. But if it's confined to the game, can we deal with the game and what was said as opposed to, nah, I don't like that motherfucker?
No, that's exactly how it is.
But dude, can you go ahead?
Think about just growing up, period.
Yeah.
AAU, high school, college, we're heroes. The first time we actually ever hear something negative is when we get to the NBA.
Yeah.
Right? If we're gonna get booed, we're gonna be booed on the road because we're good. So the first time we hear some shit about us is usually from a beat writer or in the news.
Okay.
It can be 100% correct. I don't like you.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I took 35 shots, you called me out. That, me and you got a problem now.
Right.
And that's just us. Right? You know what I mean? So most of the time we're mad because you're making us look at ourselves for no reason.
Yep.
But in his case, like he's stated, right? He in the club with guys after the game. He's hanging out with guys. He knows guys.
Doing work.
No, he knows guys, homeboys, and their managers and their friends and
Family.
Family members.
Yep.
He know them, right?
They hold you at a different.
So he shouldn't, in some guys' eyes, go in there and say I fucking played bad.
Right.
So now they taking it personal. Like, this motherfucker, I dare this motherfucker.
And my response
just had drinks with him.
Yeah, I just,
before I go right to you,
we was out till 4 in the morning. How the fuck he think I was gonna play? How dare he go on the TV and say I played bad?
I was with him.
I was with him last night.
Right. Well, it's never like that. I got you though. I got you.
You leave
I
a
got
little
you like
earlier,
that.
all right.
But what I'm saying is that my point and my argument, and in fairness, in a roundabout way, because I used to have this issue with AI. You know that's my man. And I'm like, did I say anything about this, or that? All I said was, shit, you in a slump. You playing like shit right now. That's it. You know why. You know I didn't say why.
We know why.
You understand what I'm saying? I didn't say why. What's the problem? And that's where I'm going. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Shop.
I fucking dare.
I just have to say, man, I'm disappointed in you, Steve, because I'm little Steve right now in this space.
Okay.
I used to play ball. I used to be all right.
Won the national championship.
And I remember when I won the championship and I was getting drafted, there was only one guy that spoke good about me that whole time. And I was getting drafted, walking on that stage, and that voice was Stephen A. Smith. I can't believe McCants is still over there. The national champion. He gave me a whole monologue about when he gets to Minnesota, he plays next to Kevin Garnett, he gonna tear it up. All he gotta do is show up. Now I'm looking at this space. The only thing that disappointed me was what happened the other night. And you held this standard of being a strong stand-up nigga. I'm gonna stand 10 toes no matter who come at me, and you've always done that. And I think that I presented myself as the same type of nigga. And I think they're scared of me because your only flaw is that you didn't play. Guess what I did? So I'm the Stephen A. that played, that got stats. Imagine how hated I am gonna be when I come for your spot, boy. I want 100 million too.
Fair.
So you can't be bowing down to no king. We going to conquer.
So, Shaq, let's talk about that real quick.
Sure, no problem.
But by now, everyone knows about the situation with you and LeBron.
That's the biggest
Thursday.
lame shit I ever seen.
Thursday.
That was cool.
Let me get to this.
His fun.
By now, everybody knows about the situation with you and LeBron. Last Thursday, Knicks-Lakers game in Staples Center. During the stoppage and play, we've got the video as a reminder for viewers. During the stoppage and play between third and fourth quarter, Bron pulled up on you. Wanted some smoke with you.
Yep.
Brief interaction. Obviously, LeBron took issue with things that you have said, particularly about him and Bronny. Right. So here's the clip. It was very quick. Tried to get the lip reading. I hope the Legends got at least close to what happened. But I want to spin it forward to the Lakers-Celtics game on Saturday. Before the game, the ESPN Twitter account posted a clip of Richard Jefferson and LeBron talking before the game. The Legends once again on it. They seem to be talking about that situation that went down on Thursday during the Lakers. Obviously, Lakers won that game. You were there. You saw Luka out there cooking LeBron as well. But that's neither here nor there. But you addressed it on Friday, First Take, and on the Stephen A. Smith Show, your podcast on YouTube. You addressed LeBron and RJ exchange on Monday on your show. So what do you make of LeBron confronting you in the aftermath of that situation?
I thought it was weak. I thought it was some bullshit. But in the moment, I knew that I was listening to a father. Here's what happened. I'm represented by William Morris Endeavor. The founder of William Morris Endeavor, Ari Emanuel, had courtside seats right next to the Lakers bench. He had Larry David with him, star of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'm sitting with them. I get there in the first quarter. I'm sitting courtside, and I stand up, and then I got my head turned. And then I turned back around, and a lot of people thought this was the end of the game or something like that. This was in the third quarter. Apparently, LeBron had walked out of the timeout, and I turn around, and he's right here in my face. He said, yo, you got to stop talking shit about my son. You got to stop fucking with my son. That's my son. That's my son. And I was like, what? He said, nah, fuck that. I said, yo, let's talk later. He's like, fuck that. Nah, fuck that. You got to stop fucking with my son. And I said, all right, though. And he walked off. So I remember during a timeout in the first quarter, seeing Bronny. And Bronny looked over at me, and he had this sad look on his face. And I'm imagining Pop saw that shit, it hit him. And he couldn't hold it, and he rolled up on me. And so when I went on the air the next morning, first things first, believe it or not, I know this is shocking for people to believe, but I didn't have any intentions on talking about it until I woke up that morning and saw that the shit had gone viral. Once the shit had gone viral, the bosses at ESPN, now you gotta talk about it. This is you and him. You gotta talk about it. I said, fine. So I go on the air and I said, the first thing that I'm gonna do is establish that this was a father talking to me, not a player. And that was what threw me off. And I was glad, even though I thought that he misrepresented the argument, I was glad he did. Because you see, what he was really talking about, which was confirmed with his conversation with Richard Jefferson, is that I was talking about him as a father. And so what happens is that had he said that to me, then I wouldn't have been thrown off. I'd have came right back at him. Yes, I was. I was talking about you. You did this shit, which I'll get to in a second. But because he didn't do that, I said, fine, you let it go. Mind you, I just agreed to my contract. Courtside. That day was when it was announced. It's all over, everywhere.
We talked about it.
Right? Yeah. It's a nationally televised game. The cameras are rolling, and I'm like, if I do anything, this is gonna be a scene. Now, we can sit up here in front all we want to and act like we don't work for somebody. Damn it, I work for Walt Disney. And if I had gotten into some shit with him at courtside right there at that moment, no matter how right I would have been, it would have been wrong. And I was like, I'm not gonna do this. But once I saw the tape of him talking to Richard Jefferson Saturday night in Boston, that was when I got really pissed because that was confirmation. Now let's get to the father thing. And I'm so glad y'all asked me about this shit because all I would ask is that I've been around for 30 years. Tell me the parent that said they heard me talking about them. I've never done it. What happened was this man was the one that said, you want me, draft him. I'll come play anywhere he's at. It ain't even about the money. This man is the one who said he's better than some of the NBA players are right now when he was in high school. If you go back and look at the tape, Back then I said, stop. You can't do this. If you do that shit, you're bringing more pressure on your son. LeBron, stop. I said it then. This is before he got drafted. Stop doing this. He goes to USC. He got the heart ailment. I'm like, thank God he's okay. He gonna be all right. But I'm not gonna go see him at USC, just like I didn't go see him at Sierra Canyon, because like I ain't see Melo's son. I heard your son is all world. I ain't see him. Your son, I never saw these guys until they came pro, because I know.
Wrong with USC?
No, it's not that.
Okay.
I know that because of who I am and what I've established for myself in this industry, if I walk into an arena, everybody is looking for me to critique that person. And I don't want to do that because they want to come up. I'm not covering college, I'm covering pro.
And they kids.
Huh? And they kids. Well, I'm saying, but if I was a college reporter, then I would have had to. But I wasn't. So why am I going to be there? I didn't want to put that extra pressure. So I never went. I went on national television and announced to the world, I'm not going to see him. He goes to USC. I'm not going to see him. It's too much. It's too much. And then now he's got to overcome this heart ailment, so I can't judge him. But then they said, oh, he going pro. So then once you say he's going pro, okay, you're talking to the scouts and the evaluators and everybody else. Yo, man, this is them. He'll be lucky to be a second-round pick. He'll be lucky. He ain't ready, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I ain't seen him, y'all. I haven't seen him. Then all of a sudden, Rich Paul and others at Clutch, and then the story headlines follow. Boston might be interested, Golden State might be interested, Phoenix might be interested, Clippers might be. You start hearing all of this, and you're like, all right, this could be true, or this could be them wielding their magic to make it look such a way. I say nothing. He gets drafted by the Lakers, which everybody knew was going to happen because, the skids were greased, and he gets drafted. I still say nothing. He goes into the pro. It's opening night. Now remember, most cats talk about the league. I cover it. What I mean by that is that you can give your opinion. You might not be on the phone with the commissioner. You might not be on the phone with the executive VP. You might not be on the phone with other people that work in these offices. I am. So because of that, I'm hearing all of this. Yeah, we just gonna go along with it. Open the night I'm talking about. Open the night. Him, Bron. We just gonna go along with it. Or you hearing the Lakers are just going along with it. You're hearing this stuff. Now, I'm not saying they told me that, meaning the commissioner or Jeannie Buss, but I'm saying you're hearing that from those organizations. So I'm getting all of this. One of those cats standing up.
Staples Center.
Ken Griffey, Senior and Junior, who all-stars, Hall of Famer, and Ken Griffey Jr., they got them there. And again, I've been covering it for 30 years, not NBA, sports. You understand? So how you think it's all looking to me? It's a little bit too choreographed. But I'm still. I'm still like this. Congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking, let's have this moment because LeBron deserves it. The brother, I got him number 2 all time behind Jordan, right? He's done so much for the league. He's generated so much money. I don't want to hear about Bronny and the $8 million. As far as I'm concerned, LeBron underpaid. Shit, that's $8 million he should have had in his pocket. It's no big deal to me. But the one thing I did say was, that one game right there is the moment. Now you got to go to the G League and earn your stripes. Instead, he's playing and playing and playing. And I'm getting stats, and he go against Philly. They put him in the first quarter, and Tyrese and them gave it to him. And then they plaster on SportsCenter 0.3 points, 0.3 rebounds, 0.4 assists, blah, blah, blah. And I said, damn. Why? Because I'm like, now I can't ignore it. Because how am I doing my job? If now you put me in a position where because they put the stats up, everyone is blowing it up. They're putting it on all their social media pages. And it's like, how do all of that's happening, but Stephen A. Smith got nothing to say? I can't get away with it no more. So I go on the air and I say the same thing I said over the summer. Yo, LeBron, if we see this, you're his dad and you're a basketball savant. You must see this. Don't do this. Because you're putting him under such a microscope. It's gonna be too much for him to overcome. Give him a chance. So that's what I said. And because I prefaced it by saying, as a dad, the only reason I said as a dad is because you marketed yourself as his dad to help him get into the league. You didn't do that. Melo didn't do that, or it hasn't yet, and I know he wouldn't.
D-Wade,
Tim Hardaway Sr., Rick Barry, the list goes. None of them did that. None of them. He's the only one. And I said, yo, that's why I'm saying this to you. I don't want to do this. I know your intentions are honorable. Go back and watch the whole tape of me saying it. I know your intentions are honorable. I know you don't mean harm. But there's some vultures out here, and they going to come for him. And how many times over the years, to get to your point, in terms of what you asked me about what you expect from me, Stephen A., blah, blah, how many, find the brothers in the industry that will tell you, I did not give them a lookout. I go up to them all the time. Yo, come here. I'm not going to be able to help you if you get to this point. You need to stop this shit right now because it's coming. It's coming. That, to me, is where I reach back and I pay back by giving cats the heads up of the minefields, because I've been here for 30 years. I got fired. I lost my job. They thought my career was over. I've been through all of this shit, all of it. And I'm like, yo, I know where the minefields lie. And I'm telling you what's coming. And then this shit go down and everybody act like I never said none of this. I'm like, I said, this fucked up. Because if you go, it's all on tape. If you go back, I gave the heads up.
That's too easy for people to do. That's too easy for people to do.
Right.
So we shouldn't uplift our kids? Like, we can't
I'm sorry, I
talk
couldn't
about,
hear you. You said what?
We can't uplift our kids? We can't say he's better than some of the players in the
But you gotta
league?
be truthful.
What you mean, true? It's my son.
I don't give a fuck
think
if your
my
son
son's
suck,
good
your son
regardless
suck.
or not. I don't give a fuck. But it's no son.
Your son suck, he suck.
No.
Yes.
No, but he
Yeah,
don't.
not in his heart.
No,
Yeah, I understand.
he don't,
Listen, you can
though.
be that dad,
What is it-
but
he's
you
doing-
made it to the high. You're not trying to live, but you not
how
trying to
much he
live
average in the G
vicariously.
League?
You're not
So
trying
obviously
to.
he don't suck.
You're not trying to live
I'm
vicariously
seeing
through your
something
son,
that y'all
though, Nick.
seeing now, and I seen it. So
Nick,
do we
I'm not
suck
saying
now?
Bronny suck, but I'm just saying.
But you just tell
You
me I
honest.
can't
You
uplift
honest.
my
Yes,
child.
you can be that. Listen. I coach Little League rec girls basketball. Right? Trust me when I tell you, some of them parents being there cheering they fucking heart out for their child.
Yeah.
You supposed to, shit. It's my child.
You see that product. They ain't got nobody athletic in their family tree.
Whoa.
Man.
Listen,
They looking for an anomaly.
They ain't
My
got their
son nice,
athletic
man.
bone in
My
their
son
body.
average 20
They ain't got
points right
athletic
now.
bone in their family
Yeah, my son
tree.
averaging
And they got their child out here and they out in that motherfucker with signs and shit.
Right.
Go get them.
But but I'm saying this all
Your
started
child need a
because you
helmet.
said my child is better than some
They
of
don't
the
mean
players in the NBA.
He don't mean that. Wait, don't you coach your son on the girls?
No. This boy,
No, I thought.
He disrespected me.
No, I thought.
No, they ain't gonna do this in front of Stephen A. No, this is not. No,
I
we got
thought-
company. We got company.
No. Don't y'all play in the same league?
I got a 6-year-old son.
Yeah, my
He got
son,
a
nice
son.
and 5. Nice.
Oh,
He
when-
play-
No, I got a no fool.
I thought you was coaching.
Ass boy.
But the other part that I would bring to you, the other part I would bring to you, Swag, is this.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Because you played in the NBA,
Yeah.
it ain't just about how you feel. It's about how you know what's coming.
And then I got another.
And so now, as a parent, you got an obligation to protect from what's coming.
To your point, right? I used to tell KJ all the time. Internally, I see it. You have what it takes to play in the NBA, right? All you got to do is keep getting better.
Right.
Right? This is my whole message,
Right.
right?
Right.
Keep getting better.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure Bron is telling Bronny the same thing, but it was interrupted. Not saying that he can't get there, that he would never get there.
I think he got a chance.
But it was interrupted.
And they pivoted.
And they pivoted in a way that we all said, we all took pause in it, right? We're like, but that's their family, that's their decision.
Right.
So we all gonna sit back and whatever comes with it, comes with it. And we're the same, I'm the same one that sit on this couch and say, we're gonna treat him as the 55th pick, right? My son was the 52nd pick. I fucking get it, right? It worked out for KJ in year 5. He listened, he got better, he did things, he was in a decent situation to play. It just, right? It's just unfortunate my name ain't to that. Where everything that KJ has done, everything that he's doing is being critiqued.
But it's helped.
Right, it's helped.
Because with you were a rough rider. Everybody know you could defend your ass off. Everybody, you wasn't scared of shit. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't gonna be some soft ass playing alongside you. You wasn't having it. No one disrespects your son.
Because they scared of him. Just tell him.
But it's not. But no, it's not. It's not about being scared of him. No. It's his makeup.
It's a bully.
No. It's his makeup. Yeah, he was.
If you don't tell him, he's gonna make sure you tell him.
That you was a bully.
Tell him.
Tell him
he's a bully. Tell him. Yeah, tell him.
Oak Cliff bully. Don't listen to these motherfuckers.
But what I'm saying is,
Underdog user, not Oak Cliff bully.
he was. So he comes into the league, but it's not just about respect for him as a player. It's respect for how he handled his son coming into the league. You said, listen, you talk. I had to ask you about your son the other day. I've been hearing about his son for a while. I had to ask him about him. You understand what I'm saying? You got to ask. I mean, Melo, listen to Melo talk about how he had to step back. You know he was desperate for his son to go to Syracuse, but he didn't want to influence him. You said, Melo never talked about his son like that. You had to ask him. And so you see a lot of this stuff happen, and then you see this. And I'm like, so as a media member, now, this is the part y'all may not take into consideration. You don't have to care, but we do. If I don't say nothing. Wait a minute now. I would have said something about somebody else. I'd have said something before.
Okay.
How long am I supposed to go without doing my job? The brother is in the NBA. He is wearing a Lakers uniform. So it's like, wait a minute here. You got to a point where it left you no choice. So then all you could do is speak respectfully, but honestly. And then everybody was caught up in as a father. And I'm like, come on, man.
Steve,
Come on,
like
man.
this, Steve. This how simple it goes. It goes this simple.
Please.
Okay, let's see.
You've always been stand-up Steve. So whenever it's a situation that we looking to Steve to stand up and they're trying to take that away from you, you got to look at it. From my perspective, I'm like, I'm always the one that's going to say something,
Y'all,
right? And I'm going to be always the one that's the hater. Because what I'm saying is in opposition to what everyone either believes or has been told.
Okay.
So I've always taken the Stephen A. Smith seat.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it. Yeah, I said it. I know some of y'all feel that way, and I know some of y'all watching what I'm watching. But it's not a critique. It's just what I'm seeing. It's an observation.
Somebody want to play with their brother like that. The asses.
Yes,
The asses.
He
Don't
took up
say
Ross's
shit
spot.
about
Who
their
did?
asses.
Who didn't? You wasn't on the show then.
Justin Holiday.
He got
Motherfucker,
criticized, bro.
I said he was taking up a goddamn Ross's
Yeah.
spot.
What's wrong with wanting to play with somebody you love? Or feel comfortable with
When
playing
J.R.
with them?
Smith and Chris Smith,
J.R. Smith,
he got criticized for that.
No,
Yes.
they're not in the media like every day like Ron is.
Well, and
But
The asses.
their dad
we
isn't
talk
LeBron
about
James.
One time
Yeah,
on
but
fucking
it's a couple of
ESPN.
He's not in the GOAT debate. That's the point.
in a couple
In
In a couple ways. Hold on.
No,
Giannis is a bad
okay.
example.
Yeah.
Giannis is a bad example. He's a superstar. He comes over to America, and they were talking about how he was alone and he's not comfortable because he's not trusting. So you got that man there to keep him comfortable. Wait a minute, he's worth it because you ain't going to the 12th man on the bench any damn way. So stop that. Now to get to your point, you're right, except for one thing. I haven't always spoken first. There's plenty of times in my career where I've laid back. and I haven't said anything and I've waited. It's just that when I spoke,
That's what I'm saying.
that it resonates.
That's what I'm saying.
But
You holding
eventually
back.
I will.
You
But it's not always first.
But you holding back sometimes works against you because you could have said it when everybody was feeling it and everybody knew it was supposed to come out and you supposed to say it, right? So you holding that Bronny information, you holding on to it, knowing we all saying it, right? And we waiting on stand-up Steve to say it because that's going to validate it.
Right.
It's like if Steve see it, we know it's boom.
Yeah, but in that situation,
I don't know if he said anything.
I didn't. In
No,
that situation,
he's the only foreigner that needed somebody next to him.
No, I said it.
No,
I said
He's
it.
the only foreigner that needed help.
he's the only forward
What's
a
his
brother
name?
that damn
What's his
good.
name,
How about that?
What's his name?
Okay?
What's his name?
Everybody ain't Giannis. Everybody ain't Giannis.
Joker brothers should be on the bench with him.
Like I get both.
They are
sides
on the
of it.
bench. They
Giannis was in the league
And also
before
Giannis
Giannis.
taking up a roster spot for everybody.
Yeah, agree.
He was in the league before Giannis, though.
But you're not wrong with what you're saying. You're not wrong. I'm just saying that it depends on the story. Everything isn't meant to be put on Front Street day one. Sometimes you wait because sometimes the story is more potent when you wait, as opposed to you being just get it out there first. Nah, sometimes you want to wait and see. You can do that. You get to make that decision as a media member as long as you're honest about it.
Let me ask you this then.
Like game
Is the
motivation.
timing right now as potent as it is? Is it bubbled up at the right time now?
Well, he made it that way.
For everybody. For the league, for Steve, you just signed your deal. That happened. The league is just got Luka. They just turned the viewership coin. Everything has turned due to all of these interactions.
I'm
right?
still saying it still depends on the story. It depends on how much of something is resonating and how much is percolating. If the shit's percolating, damn right you touch on it. If it ain't that big of a deal in people's eyes, then you might wait. But he made it what it is. When he rolled up on me courtside.
Isn't it weak though? Yeah. Like when you think about it, you know he wasn't ready, right? As a father, you're still a father to your son. You're still trying to praise them and make them feel like they're worthy of playing basketball because they can get discouraged at any moment in time, right? So I'm pretty sure every game he's over the line, you got it, don't worry about it, just go out there, play the game. That's that part of it. The NBA part knows he's not ready yet, right? But as the father part, him sitting there nervous and shit, you're like, no, hey, relax. You're gonna go out there and play. At what point, when he gets drafted 55, do you supposed to sit back and be like, all right, there's nothing to talk about here. He's 55. He wasn't 17. He wasn't a first round. His draft status actually let you know what he was.
But what I'm saying to you,
he's at the back bottom.
That very draft status that you pointed to, all of us would have that attitude if his pops hadn't done what he did. So what I'm saying is that because of what he did publicly, we had no choice but to ultimately address it. Yep. And as a 55th, all he had to do is this. Listen, I got this moment with my son. All right, now it's time to go to the G League and do what you're doing, and we'll see you next year.
Or let the draft happen organically, and if somebody's going to draft him, let them draft. Like you never know, just for shits and giggles. Right. What if somebody at 44 wanted to pick it? I'm just for shits and giggles.
No, I get
right. But somebody at 44 wanted to pick him, right?
Yes.
So you gonna stop?
Yes.
Because he wants to play with his kid. He don't want to see his kid.
He don't want to see his kid in the NBA.
Okay.
He wants to play on the same team.
Go ahead. That's selfish.
I think we're
that's way different. That's way different.
And here's why. My son could have died.
Yes.
I've been in the league 21 years, right?
So what is the dream?
Hold on. I've been in the league 21 years.
What is Bronny's dream?
To be in the NBA.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been in the league 21 years. I missed 19 to 20 years of his life. You know how we are as parents. We're in, we're out, we're in, we're out. Yes. My firstborn with my name almost passed. And you're telling me that I'm gonna keep playing this league to miss this? Fuck no. This is gonna be the first time in my career where I get 365 days with my son.
But you don't.
I'm not letting someone else draft him. I want him near me.
What about
because
Bryce?
of what happened.
Are you gonna do it to Bryce too?
But you don't get every day.
I do get every day. If he's on his team, I get every day.
But he's not. He plays
I
on the
get
G
more
League.
than I did for the last whatever.
He plays on the G League.
He gets to come home to me, though.
He lives by himself.
But what I'm saying, he gets to come home to me.
He's a pro.
Are you not? Are you understanding?
He's a professional.
I hear everything
that you're
Once
saying.
his kid, once something happens to his
Everything
kid,
that you're saying is true, Gil. Yes. Yes, absolutely. 100% factual. I hear you, yes. But what is Bronny's dream?
Bronny's dream was
To be in the NBA,
Bronny's
right?
dream was this. I don't give a
play.
fuck where I get drafted. I just want to hear my name.
So
That
why
was his
not?
dream.
So therefore, what I'm saying is,
that was his dream.
let that happen organically.
As a father, I don't want it to happen organically on your draft.
Hold on, Gil.
I wanted to happen on my draft.
Hold on, Swag. Hold on, Gil.
So you don't think it meant something for me to hear? Listen, I told y'all sitting in this motherfucker, I was a bigger wreck on KJ's draft day than he fucking was.
Right.
Right?
For sure. You should be.
A bigger wreck, I'm trying to stay away from him.
Right.
Because I don't want him to sense this shit.
Right.
Right? So yeah, I wanted more than he fucking wanted.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's his dream and his journey is what I'm saying.
Who
I'm
cried?
happy for him. I did.
No. Who cried when Bronny got drafted?
I didn't watch
They
it.
said it was Bronny. I thought I saw him crying.
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure he did. It's his
His
dream. So
only dream was to hear his
name called.
That's
Yes,
it.
I'm with you. I'm saying yes, Gil. Yes, absolutely. Hear his name called for any fucking team,
Right.
for any team, right?
Right.
For any
But
team.
once but here's what he's saying. He said any team, right? Which means that when we're talking about the Lakers, that's about LeBron, not Bronny. Bronny wanted to get drafted by any NBA team. He wanted to hear his name. It was LeBron that wanted him as his teammate. So what I'm saying
Now
is,
why?
when you because of the reasons you pointed
Okay.
out.
Yes, I
So
said
what I'm
yes,
saying to you is, if LeBron had rolled up on me, this is all he had to say, because I said this to Rich Paul when Rich Paul called me. I said, Rich Paul, I only asked for grace in one level, on one point. If you had called me and said, Bron pissed off, motherfucker mad as hell, he want to see you man to man. I said, what would I have done? Rich Paul said, you'd have hung up the phone and you'd flew to LA. I said, thank you. So my point is, rather than come up to me at courtside, all you had to do was say, yo, I need you to stay, don't leave this game. I need you to see you after the game. That's all he had to say to me. Then as we speak, he says that, let's take an example, he said what you just said.
Yeah.
I stand down. My bad. And not only that, I'm gonna make sure I go on the air. I ain't look at it that way. That's on me. You didn't do that shit. You said you fucking with my son. No, I wasn't. I was talking about you. I was talking about you. Wasn't about your son. I know he's number 55. I know he got work to do. I believe that he got potential. Yeah. I believe that he got the potential to go pro. I truly believe that. It's gonna be tough, but I think he can pull it off. And by the way, I'm rooting for him. I ain't rooting against nobody. But I was talking about your ass. You did this. You the one that had us as reporters, as a league, as an NBA franchise. All of us gotta sit back and be quiet and capitulate to your shit.
Come on now.
You did that. And so when I see people talking, and I'm like, oh my God, can somebody? I mean, I know I got a show, and I know I got my podcast, but I'm like, goddamn, y'all, I'm fair. I don't give a fuck who it is. It's you, it's you, it's you. It don't matter who it is. Damn it, I'm just meeting you. If somebody unfair to you, I'm gonna be like, that's not fair. That's not fair. But when it come to me, everybody get crickets. That motherfucker Stephen A on his own. That, respectfully, excuse my language, that's fucked up. I'm on my own. When number one, we know I'm right. Number two, we know the perspective that I'm coming from is real and it's authentic. Number three, he set this up. Number four, all you had to do was tell me. Listen, Kenyon told me, you keep talking about, I'm bringing this up for all fun. He talked about how he approached me in Puerto Rico. I swear to God, I don't remember. I swear to God.
Probably.
But I know this much.
But you do.
And let me tell you what I did. I was writing for the Philadelphia Inquirer. This is from 1993 to 2010. Shit, I said, when the fuck he talking about? I called Philadelphia Inquirer. I said, I called my research. Look up the archives. I want every goddamn article I wrote about Kenyon Martin. I don't know what he's talking about, right? Because I'm looking at articles. I said, I knew that brother was a stud. I knew that brother deserved his money. Where the Nets go? Nets ain't going no fucking back-to-back finals without you. I'm like, I know. What is he talking about? You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking for the shit, and I found some shit where you got it was some shit with Byron Scott or whatever. But I don't know. But I'll take your word for it. My point is, Kenyon Martin would talk about, I rolled up on Stephen A. I'm like, he ain't the only one. There's plenty of motherfuckers that rolled up on me. Glenn Robinson and I mean, butt heads because I thought he got Randy Ayers fired. I couldn't stand his ass. Let me tell you, I mean, it got to a point where motherfuckers like just walk in between us because it was just hostility. I couldn't stand his ass. And then I was in Houston, and I saw Glenn Robinson III. And he saw me, and he put his head down, and he walked by me. I felt like such shit. I stopped him in the hallways of a Houston Rockets game, and I said, come here, man. Whatever's going on between me and your father, it's my fault. And when I see him, I'm gonna apologize, because for him to look like that, we done took this shit too far. There's no reason for it. I just thought that you showed Randy Ayers the same grace as you show Larry Brown or some shit. That's all it was. But for it to get like that, I didn't mean for that to happen. So I instantly told him, whatever it is going on between you and me and your father, it's my fault. Your father's fine. I'm the journalist. I'm supposed to know better. That's my fault. That's on me. Shit like that could happen with somebody like LeBron. But LeBron up here, and he know he up here. He don't give a fuck. The problem is when it comes to the media, God damn it, I'm up here. You understand? And as a result, you can sit up there, you can make some noise and make a scene and do whatever it is that you do. But you see, I got 10 hours of airwaves a week live. And I got my podcast. And I got other outlets. And y'all don't even know what the fuck is coming down the pike in terms of opportunities I got coming my way. I'm just getting started.
You should have tripped him.
As
soon as he turned his
not
back.
at all. Nope.
Stephen,
Not
that's a question
necessary.
for you, though.
Not necessary.
Question-
It's like, yo,
Question for you. Question for you.
This is what it is.
Serious question.
It's like, what was he gonna do?
Hold on.
No, I'm just saying, what was he gonna do?
But the thing is, right?
He rolled
hold
up
on.
on me, motherfucker.
See, the thing is, and
Look up
that's
the money, baby.
so when we get to. So I told Angela, she does our social media, so we're gonna start a segment, right?
Yeah.
And you remember the old bracelet they used to serve, like WWJD?
Right.
Like what would you, so we just gonna change the letter, the J to a K, and what would Kenyon do?
That's
Right?
a good one. That's a good
So,
one. Right.
So see, people do that to people, right? Like people do that to people where they know what the response is gonna be, right? If he thought that Stephen was gonna be on bullshit in the moment, ain't no way he would have did that in that moment, right? If he thought there was a slight chance
Right.
that this shit can go left,
Right.
They're not gonna put themselves in that situation.
Sometimes
Trust.
you don't think-
You approach me, it ain't gonna be the fucking narrative.
Right.
That it's gonna be way worse than what you, listen, it started out as you, motherfucker,
Right.
Whooping your
like,
ass.
and then take me out in cuffs, cool. You bought this ass whooping upon yourself in public
Him and
because you thought that was gonna be the narrative.
Right.
It's not gonna be the fucking narrative. They do that shit to people who they think and they know they can get away with it with in
He ain't
public.
got to be swinging.
Stephen,
I'm not
serious
doing
question.
that.
He's not.
Yeah,
That's
I'm not gonna
him.
do
That's
that.
why I said, what would Kenyon do?
A little trim though, just
Good
no accident.
And I
I'm
tell
not
all
gonna
this,
do that
the
either.
Lord
But-
don't put me in
but
them kind of
was he wrong?
situations because I'm going to fail tremendously.
Was LeBron wrong?
I'm going to fail at that.
Josiah, you're gonna have to try a little harder. I'm
Serious
trying to help
question
you.
for you, Stephen A.
That nigga-
Ser-
Got something you want to say?
I know y'all don't fucking listen to shit I do anyway, but I'm a movie star now. Serious question for you. If LeBron would have came up to you, no, we good. Nigga, we got bags coming. We got bags coming. We buy bags. But serious question for you. Now you're my dog. We got bags coming together. If LeBron would have came up to you and said, let's talk after the game,
I'd have waited.
would you have brought Larry David with you though?
No.
Okay, just wanna know. Just wanted to know.
No.
I'm bringing Larry David. What you gonna do now, bro?
I just met
I
him.
got Larry
I
David
just-
right
I
here.
just met him.
Comedic
But-
relief,
but-
right? Smoke
But I'm
coming,
just
Larry.
saying, but seriously, it's
Hey,
like
commentate with
it's
this.
like yo,
Narrating.
like listen. When you got people like they got the podcast, they got the shows, and all of this competition going on. Most people in my position don't do a lot of interviews. You can't find them. So why do you find me? Because I feel I owe it. I've interviewed you before. I've interviewed you before. Yo, I'm talking about people. Why am I gonna write? What license do I have to? If you had something to say and you said, Stephen A, you free today? Man, I gotta rap to you about this LeBron shit. It's a scheduling issue if I don't show up. I'm not running. Because, yo, Stephen A, I think that's some fucked up shit you did. Okay, let me tell you what happened. Now, if you still think I'm fucked up after I give you my version, I'm good with it. But the point is that, to me, when some of these players do shit, it's like everybody just take it as gold. I'm like, really? I'm like, they don't lie. They don't lie.
The biggest lies.
They don't bitch up sometimes. They don't come up with narratives to make you look bad to cover themselves. Oh, they just paragons of virtue. Come on, y'all. We know better than this. And I'm going like, yo, and I'm not saying any of, you got cats. I had my man Cameron interview me. He was like this, do players talk to you? Oh, so, and that's my man. He's like this. I'm just asking. I said, people see 4 or 5 players getting on me and they think the other 440 plus don't talk to me? So you think I have information by accident? I said, do you know? I've been around. Yeah. It's GMs, it's presidents, it's player personnel directors, it's scouts, it's evaluators, it's owners. Mm-hmm. I remember one time, KD, one of the many times he talking shit, was sitting up there talking about, well, you know what? Fuck he know. Who the fuck he talk to? He in Brooklyn. Fuck he know about Golden State and what the hell he know about what's going on. He turned around, he did a double take. Because that night I was sitting with the owner. Another night it was a GM for another team. Another night it was one of the GMs, assistant GMs. It's like, you don't know who I know. There isn't a team in the league that I can't get information from. And trust me, it might take a day, it might take an hour, it might take a month. But I'm going to get it if I want it.
It might take a day.
If I want it. Because when you've been around that long, they feed it to you. Yeah. As this show continues to grow, remember I said this to y'all. All you motherfuckers got phones. You get text messages. Uh-huh. Watch as you get 1 million and 2 million, because y'all going to be around because y'all doing a hell of a job.
We're trying.
Why the hell I'm here.
Thank you.
Here's the bottom line.
Thank you.
Remember this. You're going to get
hustle.
to a point where your head going to be down a lot. Because they're going to be texting you about shit all the time. Because when you grow and you got a voice that resonates, they're going to start feeding you information. I'm at a point now I don't have to go to a game. I don't have to talk to anybody. Do you understand that there's nothing in my contract that says I have to talk to you? I'm talking about the players.
Okay, I thought you were talking about
No, I'm talking about players.
And I would understand if it was in your contract.
There's nothing in my, I get paid, when they get ridiculous, I'm like, I don't get paid to talk to you. I get paid to talk about you. I don't have to look at you.
Man.
But, Rashad, I still go to the games. Yeah. I still make sure they have access to me. I haven't changed my number in 23 years for the sole express purpose of making sure you can find. And we both know I got an excuse to change my number. Because when you make a little paper, everybody wants to
hold something.
I got it damn right. You know what I'm saying? You know that shit.
Oh, especially now.
Exactly.
Boy, listen, Jack.
And I still can't change, and I don't change my number for the sole express purpose. I'm not hard to find.
Listen, I had the same. I run into people. Hey man, let me get your number, and I give it to them. They be like, "Oh, I already got. Yeah, my number ain't changing. Yeah,
that's right.
I don't change numbers. I'm not one of them guys. I ain't changed numbers in fucking years.
I've been tempted to,
right? But I ain't. I get you because listen,
I change mine every 3 months.
Nope.
I don't want to talk to you.
My number ain't changed.
Right.
Because I have, listen, because one thing for sure, two things for certain. I respond and who I fucking respond to. If I don't want to fucking respond to you, I don't. If I will, if it's accordingly, or if it just want to be a one-word answer,
The whole shit is this. When you have platforms like this and shit like that, you got cats that's just real. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't bullshitting. Yeah. And so you gonna come at shit from a real perspective. What happens is that if you take issue, you might call a cat out, me or somebody else, because of what we said. This is where my problem lies. We got players in the league that do that shit and then start complaining about, you talking about another brother, you selling now, it's black. They doing shit like that. And I'm going like this. Y'all don't see what they doing? They trying to make it so it's difficult for you to walk the streets because it's like, when you see him, look, that motherfucker ain't for us. Yeah. That's what they trying to do. Oh, because you playing like garbage. Oh, because you ain't leading. Because you ain't living up to the expectations that you promised when you walked into the negotiating room and said, I deserve this paper. And then you gonna come at me and I'm like, y'all letting them do this shit? Because if they do, this is the one thing where my cachet comes into play. If you can do it to me, what's up for everybody else? Because if you covering the league and you calling it like you see it and you see what they doing and they able to twist the narrative, all I'm saying is, nah, don't let them do that. Fuck that. If I'm wrong, do you. But if I'm right, Steve, they right. Don't let them get you like that. If they come and they fuck Gilbert. Who the hell is he to talk? Hold on. Was he right? Yes or no? Don't give me all that shit. Was he right? If he was right, then why you doing that? Because you can't take the criticism.
It's gonna be a butt with it.
And that's what it is.
It's gonna be a butt with it.
And that's all I'm saying about a lot of these cats. Not most, not all, but it's too many of them. And they getting away with that shit.
So how does Kobe move out of your top 2?
Kobe?
I wanted to say that.
Moved out?
I never had him on my top.
I was gonna say
How
nobody.
did you let?
Hey, can I go home?
By the way,
y'all finna start this conversation.
in the rank.
Hey, but before we get to that, we were
Before
talking
y'all
about
get to that-
contracts. Before we get to that, we were talking about contracts. So we'd like to give a shout out to MeUndies for sponsoring today's podcast. Fellas, it's time to throw out your old nasty ass underwear. No more faded fabric, no more holes. Upgrade to something that women will actually want to see you in. Head over to MeUndies.com and check out their men's core collection that features their signature ultra model fabric that feels 3 times softer than cotton. Is available in 5 classic styles. Find your perfect fit today. Everyone on this couch has received MeUndies from the company. Stephen A. will get you some MeUndies as well if that you are so inclined to switch your underwear brand. But what do you fellas think about MeUndies so far?
I got some on right now as we
Nah,
speak.
Okay, Kenyon's wearing MeUndies as we speak.
Yeah,
Gil's been wearing MeUndies all the time.
Yeah, no,
Swaggy, you
comfortable.
You may be free
breathable.
balling, but if you are not, you got some MeUndies on.
I wouldn't want to know if you was free balling or not. That is between you and Nick.
I'm
That
glad.
conversation is between you and Nick.
Between
Don't
Nick
nobody
and his
give a fuck
guy,
if he's
Kenyon.
free
It's between
balling,
Nick
not
and his guy.
Josiah.
Between Nick and his guy.
I'm glad you brought up Kobe, and I don't want to leave before we talk about
if y'all gonna do-
Jaylen Brown either.
Okay, but
I
real
wanna
quick,
be there.
real quick,
Y'all
real
gonna
quick.
talk about the greatest ever. I'm
Real
going
quick,
the fuck home.
find signature
fucking
comfort
sick
and everyday styles at MeUndies.com. Get 20% off your first order, free shipping with orders over $75 with code GIL at checkout. Let's get to the GOAT situation first. GOAT debate, one of the most polarizing conversations in basketball. So we're gonna play a game of blind resume. We'll list the accolades for 6 players, then rank them. Afterwards, we reveal which resume was attached to which player. Let's show the full screen right now if we can, please. Good folks at Underdog. So, player number 1, 2 MVPs, 1 Finals MVP, 4 rings. Player number 2, 1 MVP, 2 Finals MVP, 5 rings. Player number 3, 3 MVPs, 3 Finals MVPs, 5 rings. Player number 4, 6 MVPs, 2 Finals MVPs, 6 rings. Player number 5, 2 MVPs, 3 Finals MVPs, 5 rings. And last but not least, player number 6, 3 MVPs, 2 Finals MVPs, 3 rings. So just looking at those blinds without names, how would you rank these resumes? Who would like to go first? This is Gil's Arena.
I listen, to me, number 4 would be the top resume.
What stands out? The 6 MVPs, the 6 rings, what
6 rings, 6 MVPs.
top resume on the list? Who would you put second?
Number 3.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 MVPs, 3 Finals MVPs, 5 rings. Number 4.
I would tell you 2 and 3 is a toss-up between number 3 and number 1.
Okay.
Then you got number 5.
Yep.
So 6 is last.
4, 2, 3, 5, and 2.
6
At 4, 2, 3, 5.
4,
is
2.
really good
And I
in
said
short
4, 1, 3, 5, 2.
Okay. 4, 1, 3, 5, 2.
Yes.
I see you had to recalculate that number as we started to figure out who's who.
You gentlemen have been around the game a long time. I'm sure if you look deeply at these
Figure
blind
out.
resumes, you can start figuring
It's
out.
not even a real
who is
thing.
who.
You
what
figure out who's
well,
who.
but we
Start
blind.
putting-
We blind.
Right.
There's
You start
no face
putting your
attached
list
to it.
together.
There's no faces attached.
Oh, 6 and 6. Okay, that's him.
Right?
Okay,
one and
4
5.
and
we gonna-
2.
are we gonna
Okay,
say
that's
this?
him. You know, I
Cemetery Larry.
gotta put the
Are you
4
gonna
and
say
2.
this or not? Or you
And
just-
somehow I gotta put 4 and 2 at number 2. That's weird. Somehow
the
number
graph.
3, number
It's a great
3
graph.
is
Shout out to
just
the
in
underdog
middle.
team.
Number 3
Shout out, man.
always
Shout out,
is
Spence.
probably the
I
last.
I don't want
gotta
to be a
get-
part of this conversation.
It's all weird to me.
I like the graphic. It's pretty dope.
Graph is nice. Graph is nice.
Steve, now you have the number one morning show, all the sports.
Yeah.
We have the number one YouTube show in the basketball space. And we're
deserve
number one live on YouTube at this very moment. Just want to point that out before we continue this conversation. Right now, at this very moment, we surpassed 82,000. We need another sweet underdog.
Just-
a game of our choosing.
Can I say this? If I may. Look, I'm 57 years old. I've been in the business for 30 years. Y'all thought y'all had haters when you were playing. It ain't shit compared to what's coming. So all I want you to do is be mindful of that shit. It's gonna be a lot of cats smiling in your face. They ain't your friends. They don't want you. They don't want you to succeed.
You can't be smiling in my face while he's saying that.
That's right.
That's not good.
Say it again, what you for the people in the back. But they ain't your who?
They ain't your friends.
Don't smile
Ain't
in
your
my
friends.
face while he's saying it though.
Oh.
It's
You know-
like because I consider you a friend and you smiling in my
Right.
face.
We are
I'm
friends
like,
on this show.
What are you
are
trying
now
to
friends
tell
of the
me?
family by pulling up here.
Right? What are
So-
you trying to tell
I
me,
told him my
friend?
motherfucker wasn't his friend.
So,
I ain't
Paolo,
trying
can
to
we
say
put
he
that
was.
the blind resume
What is
back
the
up?
friend trying to tell me? I'm not
Paolo,
your
put the
friend,
blind
nigga.
resume back up.
I'm
Even though you gave your list.
I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Gil, can we reveal who the players are? I think the chat has seen, the fans have seen, the couch has seen.
We know.
Yeah,
Reveal it, please, if you can.
put the shit.
Obviously, some that know basketball. Oh,
I knew that.
that is Steph number one.
That one.
Kobe number 2. Magic Johnson. Kareem number 4.
That's right.
Tim Duncan number 5. Last but not least,
Yeah.
you know,
You
we support all races just like you do. We got Larry Bird on here as well.
I know it wasn't
Right.
Jordan because Jordan
Right,
has
right.
6 Finals MVPs.
Okay, that's a.
Yeah, that's go by right.
That's about right.
So,
Yeah, if you take the
What was
Damn,
it? 14?
we're
You want me to
Somebody
answer this question
has-
before I move on from the Kobe subject?
What was it?
we were going to get to the Kobe
Okay, I'm sorry.
subject. Okay, we get to the Kobe
No, no,
subject.
Somebody said 14.
So, one of the reasons you wanted to come on here,
Crazy.
one of the reasons you wanted to come on here, Stephen A., was because you don't include Kobe in the GOAT conversation. Obviously, Cemetery Larry is not feeling that. You guys have both made those points previously. Now you're both sitting on this couch right now. So, with all respect to the Black Mamba, the Lakers legend, where is Kobe on your all-time list, and why does he fall short of the GOAT conversation in your eyes?
He's easily top 10, probably top 5. He's not my GOAT because he's number 2 as an off guard. He ain't better. He didn't eclipse Jordan. So because he didn't eclipse Jordan, he's number 2. And because we're making the argument about LeBron in terms of his versatility, being a guy that can play 4 different positions, being a point forward, being a guy that's a 27-point per game scorer, and kind of things that he's been able to do, and we have him on the Mount Rushmore. Nobody's resume supersedes that of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar outside of Bill Russell. But we know that Bill Russell wasn't Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as a talent. He was as a leader and a champion and a winner, 11 titles in 13 years. But when you look at Kareem and the all-time scoring champion before LeBron eclipsed him, the only individual in the history of the sport with one patented move that was considered unstoppable. Everybody knew the sky hook, all right? 6-time champion, 19-time All-Star, what he was able to do. But LeBron's resume, in a lot of people's eyes, 10 NBA Finals, 4 MVPs, 4 championships, and what he's been able to do with his versatility. I look at Kobe, and even though I would rather have Kobe, particularly in tight situations, my attitude was Kobe's number 2 off guard, so automatically I didn't think about him as the GOAT. That was my
Since he's
argument.
number 2 off guard, he's not in the top 5.
And I said he might be in the top 5.
Oh, might be. Okay.
The only reason I say not top 5, I'm talking about Kareem. You say, like some people say Tim Duncan's the best power forward ever. They look at Kareem as opposed to Russell or Shaq or somebody. You're including all of those names. But when you talk about the off-guard position, I think it's MJ and then it's Kobe.
And just quickly, Kareem also almost whooped Bruce Lee's ass in Game of Death, so that would elevate him in the GOAT discussion. But no, let's move over to Cemetery Larry. Obviously, you took issue with Kobe not being mentioned amongst the GOATs.
No, I didn't take issue with that at all. I take issue with minimizing Kobe's legacy in order for another slot to be taken up. And it's not even about, he has an opinion. He can say what he wants, and everybody can, right?
Yeah.
But we talking about legacy. You're talking about somebody that's gone, that could obviously speak for himself when he's here. So there's nobody that can actually be the spokesman for someone who's passed and that can say, what do you mean Shaq carried me? What do you mean it don't count because he was on my team? What do you mean you don't know what a three-peat means? And we almost did it twice because of a short season of a CBA agreement. And we got swept. We got swept because of the turmoil in our team and shortened season. But then you look at Kobe Bryant's whole legacy, it's not about the whole stats and the All-NBAs and none of that to me. You say 1A, 1B. There can't be a number 2 if you got 1A, 1B.
Okay.
So at the legacy point, when you're like, all right, Kobe, man, rest in peace. You did everything you needed to do to lead this next generation, and hopefully they leave the game as you left it. And he left the game as scoring 15,000 and 17,000 in 2 different jerseys, introducing the mama mentality. This ain't got nothing to do with stats. This ain't got nothing to do with accomplishments and awards. It's just influence and inspiration. I think greatness outside of the 1A is right there.
When they argue he's the closest thing to Jordan, then you put him at like
number 6.
Yeah, if I'm the closest thing to greatness, how can I be that far?
And then you put somebody else in front of me who's done less.
Yeah, but you also got to
That's what my
see. Respectfully, look, that's where we let emotion get into the mix, and let me tell you why. We all miss the Black Mamba. I know I had a lot of love for him. I was with him 3 weeks before he passed away. By the way, New Year's Eve, we brought a New Year's Eve together. We was at the same party and shit. And with his wife was there and the whole bit. You know what Kobe meant to all of us. But I will tell you this, quick story. So I'm rapping to Kobe, and Kobe knows how I feel about MJ. And Kobe is like, shit, I'd give anything if I could rewind the clock and I could have been in the same areas and I'd have bust his ass, And I'm laughing or whatever, and he was like, tell him. He'll tell you. I tell him that shit all the time. So I picked up the phone, I called MJ, and he's like, start laughing. He said, yeah, he tells me that all the damn time. So what you saying about him, be clear, he believes that. You ain't lying when you talk about what Kobe believes and what Kobe would challenge anybody on. But here's the thing. Kobe wouldn't bring up legacy off the court. He would leave that to others. He that shit speaks for itself. He believes just strictly talking about his game, he was MJ.
The baddest.
He believes that. He believed that, God rest his soul. That's how he felt. No doubt about that.
That's why I said to them, like, it wasn't about what you said, it was in the context of the defense for him. Yeah. When the younger generation is hearing us talk about a guy who can't speak for himself. So all we got now are memories and highlights. So we got our own peers who 5,000 guys watch this dude play. We all should be, not just because he died, but because of what we seen. Like, yeah, he was one of them.
Yeah,
he was one of them.
Yeah, but the flip side to that is we're talking about basketball. So in my position, all you could do is say, yo, when he was alive, this is what he said. This is how he felt. I might have disagreed with him about point A 100%, or point D, 100%. Agreed with him on C and D, but as long as you're not discrediting him by omitting the stuff that he said and believed and pointing out his accomplishments along the way, then you're not disrespecting him. You're just talking basketball.
All right.
Being better than someone, me being better than you and me having a better NBA career than you is 2 different things.
But
we're not talking, if they played one-on-one, we know Kobe gonna mop them. having a better resume than someone is two different things. You can't confuse the two.
Because
you
we never
can't
have
say
that-
you
we
can't
never have
say
that conversation.
you can't say take
never
away the
have-
resume.
but we
Once you
never
say
have-
take away the resume, you're you can't be validated. You can't say take away the resume. You take away my 5 Ds. You take away that. You can't do that. My resume is my resume.
But so-
we played in the same era.
The conversation
You needed
is better.
MVPs. I got them. You can't say I was a better one-on-one player than you. Take this away. You can't fuck that.
So I can say I'm the best.
You can say if you're a better one-on-one
Best.
player.
I'm the best one-on-one player.
Cool.
I'm the best scorer.
Cool.
Yeah.
My
Best
time.
scorer.
I'm the best.
Cool. That is
I'm the
great.
best clutch player.
Cool.
So if I'm
Cool.
the best
I'm the
at all
most
these
skilled
things,
player.
Uh-huh.
and you are only the best at these 2 things, that means I'm better.
My time is faster. So who's faster in reality?
You just move the
If we
goalpost.
finished the race and I finished faster, I don't give a
But
fuck
you got
how
a
you
good
ran
start.
it.
You got
I
a good
don't-
start.
Cool.
It's like a
It's part of my
marathon.
resume. My start is part of my resume. My endings are part of my resume. You can't pick and choose what you're gonna use.
Yeah,
you can say you have a better.
because we're not talking about.
You can
You just
say-
said we come in and have 2 different conversations: resume or who's the best.
Now, when
So
you say who's
you
the best,
want to have this conversation because you can use all of these metrics and stats to prove this. When we talk about this, you
That's
can't
eye
have
test.
the
Yeah.
conversation.
That's eye test. That
You're
has
not.
no-
No, it's not an eye
Okay.
test. It's not because he said it. He said, Michael, the best version of Michael Jordan that we've seen in comparison to the best version of LeBron James we've seen,
Yeah.
bro, if you don't get the fuck out of here.
Who, you said who's the better clutch player?
Between who?
LeBron and Kobe.
Kobe.
Who has the better clutch percentage?
LeBron.
Who has the most clutch shots?
I don't know.
I mean,
You can tell him.
But you're using stats, right?
Again, so what are you using?
I'm using what we've seen in those moments. Those moments.
So when Kobe's making his, you're looking. When LeBron's making his, you're not looking. So
So
you're
the
only
clutch shots
I
LeBron's
haven't
making
seen him make
is
those.
at the end of the second quarter.
So again,
right? At the
But
end
if
of the
you're
second
using
quarter.
moments, he didn't have more moments than MJ.
Who?
Kobe.
Yes, he did.
Clutch, yes.
yes. And,
Clutch,
and
I'm
game
talking about
winners.
game
We're talking
winner,
about
game
game winners.
who has more game winners?
Game
Who
winners.
has more
Not
game winners?
just
Kobe
clutch
or LeBron?
moments. See, he brung up the clutch stat.
Okay.
Which can be end of quarter, could be a lot of different things. Last 3 minutes.
was more-
But when you talk about game winners, that's the metric of the legacy. That's where you say, man, Christmas against the Miami Heat, Kobe, backboard
but what?
on
Sir,
Christmas. Merry Christmas, niggas.
You said
Like
Merry
it-
Christmas. I saw MJ do it to win championships.
You have to use you got to use
1A, 1B.
legacy, yo.
1A, 1B.
You can't use what you want to use.
We can
If
because
you
we
say-
all got our own opinion.
You can't-
That's exactly why he sat there and said his opinion. And then you can't tell me I gotta use your metric to get your fucking numbers. He just laid it out. This is why I got him 1. This is
Go ahead,
why
Joe.
I got him 2. And that's why I
I
sat
asked
there
you
and was
a
like, you
question.
know what? I respect that shit because that's your reason why.
Now I asked you a question. I said, who is a better clutch shooter? You said Kobe. I said, who has the better percentage? You said LeBron. I said, who has the most clutch shot? You said LeBron. Now, if you're LeBron, how are you convincing anyone that Kobe is a bitch clutch shooter? What are you saying? Like, how are you proving this? If nobody ever seen these two play, how do you prove it to that person?
Do we have to show them highlights?
Do we have to look at the film?
Do you want to show them highlights if we never seen them play? Do they get to see highlights?
Yes.
So they get to see highlights of Kobe's moments of hitting clutch shots?
And then you get
compared to
but you
LeBron?
got to show the other one too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Can I-
So
So if we base it on that alone, Kobe's definitely
So if
better.
one has 100, one has 50, one is shooting at a 40%, one is shooting at a 6%, how do you like?
One of them
like, what do we-
at the buzzer, Gilbert. At the buzzer, game.
buzzer beaters is different things than clutch. Like,
Game? No, it's
look,
not.
If
It
I say
is
who,
clutch.
if
It's
I,
the definition of clutch.
if
It's
I
the
say
game
who's
winner.
a better free throw shooter, what are you going to use to determine that? A percentage, right?
But
How do you want to use percentage on one thing, but then you don't want to use on the other? That's the problem.
We do.
Yeah,
Use
we
it
do.
all.
We do.
Can you-
It's called 6-0 in the finals.
yeah.
You don't like
Y'all
that
use
percentage,
resume
right?
for
You don't like that
You don't
percentage.
use the Kareem and Bill Russell resume to be the number one.
Everyone's you're supposed to use everyone. You can't pick and choose what you want to use. I just
So
gave
then,
you,
Bill, like you just said, Bill Russell number one.
I just gave you how do
you?
you choose who shoots a better free throw? You're just gonna go straight to percentage. You're not gonna go off of how it looks. You're gonna go off of the percentage. That's how it. You only want to change it.
So if the
when it
guy that
doesn't
only
fit your
shot 1 for 1 that's shooting 1,000%, is he the greatest free throw shooter of all time, Gilbert?
No.
Is he shooting 100% from the free throw line?
But he shot one.
He hasn't missed.
So if one,
So is the percentages count or not?
So one shot more shots with a higher percentage.
Who's in the front of the leaderboard? The guy who has 100%.
So wait.
I'll switch this up. You know, one of the things that I've always wanted to throw at y'all, I've often said this about LeBron at the small forward spot. Give me LeBron for the first 46 minutes. Give me Larry Bird the last two.
Hey.
See,
Hey.
Last 2
Now-
minutes.
Hey. So how great you gonna be if you gonna sub him out in the
Man.
last 2 minutes?
Okay.
Huh?
so you think
You
you're better?
subbing him?
You think you're better
I said
because you
against-
played
I said
2 minutes?
against Larry Bird.
You can't
I need
say
Larry.
that.
I need Larry to be a legend. You telling me you
It's
need
clutch
Larry
on
to be a
both
legend?
ends.
But LeBron will be on the court.
It's-
Well, I'm also
It's
telling you I
clutch on
trust him
both
more at the free
ends.
throw line.
Of course.
The shit he did
Larry's
with
a
the
legend.
I trust him at the free throw line.
But that's the problem.
Right.
You're trying to sub in 2 minutes for my 46.
Right.
Because we know you can't take us home.
And you can't play 46.
And I can
Once
take us
upon a
home.
time.
That's-
But I take us home.
Like, you can't play
But I
46.
take us home. Steve don't know how to get here, but he know how to get us back.
And you don't know how to get us there.
He know how to get us back.
But you don't know how to get us
We
there.
don't need to.
That's what I said. Like, I'm lifting 46 minutes to your 2, but you think you're better than me.
That's why we work together.
Nobody's putting Ginobili in front of Tim Duncan.
Why would they?
He finished the game.
Yeah.
Last
They're on
2
the
minutes.
same team. What are you talking about?
What are we
So
Where
when
are we
you
going
said-
with this?
When
We
you
gotta bring it back in.
said, can you tell me what team?
gotta
When you
bring it-
said LeBron's 46 minutes, and then
No,
you
no,
put
no.
in Larry,
No, I just-
they was on the same team when you did this, right? no.
Yeah,
When you said you was thinking about the
No,
LeBron.
what I'm saying is when you talk about the small forward spot,
Yeah.
I think that LeBron James, let's say for example, we're talking about a forward. I think that LeBron James is the greatest ever in that regard, at that position. But what I said was, shit, I saw that damn Larry Bird, bro, in the clutch. You understand? And don't leave him open. Don't let that happen. Don't send him to the free throw line. Don't let that happen. That's how I was looking at it because I know that physically, athletically, in terms of what you're doing over the course of a complete game, he's not LeBron. But those, when you talk about those last 2 minutes, that's all I was saying. That's certainly not to pick him overall, but I think about it sometimes like
clutch,
that.
Stats are there. Stats are there too.
In clutch, when it comes to somebody like Larry Bird,
Yeah.
Kobe,
Yeah.
Jordan, because for the most part, I've never really seen Larry like that.
Yes.
Right?
For me, it would be Jordan.
Okay.
For me, it would be Jordan. All day, every day.
Yeah, we just-
I just think he's the greatest ever. And not only that, he did on both ends.
And we never bring that up about Kobe.
And Kobe, we need to do more. We need to more. Because Kobe had some
He was
years.
the only.
Kobe had some years
All
where he was
NBA
locked down.
All
defensively.
NBA offense, all
Yeah,
NBA
he got
defense
more,
for 10
right?
straight
The
years.
same, right? Ain't it the same?
The only
Ain't it
player
the same?
in history.
Like 9 all,
Look that
all
up.
defense?
I need to see that stat. Because I think Jordan got him beat even on that
Yes,
one.
he does.
No, I think
In the decade from
think
2000
Kobe-
to
On out
2010.
decade, so we're taking out 96 to 2000.
Got it.
That's the problem. You can't take out shit, man. Just
you-
let everybody
'cause you don't like
be
it. I
what
like,
it is.
I like
But
doing
when
shit he
did
don't
Jordan-
like.
You can't let. You
I
can't,
like doing shit he don't like.
So take out
It's
resume.
supposed to be his favorite player, but he don't like me putting his favorite player at number one.
No, you got to take
So
out
fucking
resume.
weird. You be glad
because
for me to
he has
just put
Kobe
Kobe
over.
everywhere.
He has
But
Kobe
every
over.
time I bring him up,
Like,
no,
yes.
you can't just do
Yes,
that.
Kobe over Jordan. You just
is.
let everybody resume speak for itself.
Weirdest
Stop
shit in the world.
minimizing this year versus
don't want
this
me to
year.
promote your
you
favorite
can't
player.
do that.
So-
you can't say
So
from
weird.
2000 to 2000. When did he win his last MVP? 2000 to 2009. Kobe was. You can't do that, man.
But-
So
let
look,
everybody
Kobe did that.
let everybody resume speak for the
So
whole
we got
resume.
to put a pin in this right now, Stephen A. We know you're a busy man. You only got a little bit of time left. You said you want to talk about the Jaylen Brown situation.
Sure.
So let's get into that quickly.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, we got some PF Changs here too. Just candidly, I'm ready to get my grub on. But you are one of, if not the top dog in sports media. Words carry a lot of weight. Obviously, players are affected, impacted by them. You had a previous issue with yourself and Jaylen Brown after a source told you that he was unmarketable.
Yes.
Obviously, you said on episode of First Take.
Yes.
He took exception Two, after you share that information on First Take, he's tweeted, state your source. You've since hashed it out with Brown on your podcast, Stephen A. Smith Show, but is it fair to share information that doesn't have a name attached to it? And how cautious are you before sharing that information from your sources, knowing the impact it can have on players?
Yes, it is fair. And here's what you're not going to like about it. Sports is not nearly as important as healthcare, the economy, inflation, immigration, and all of these political issues, right? When do you see people covering the White House or the state or the nation's capital giving sources? They do it every day. So we're talking about profound issues where people get away without attaching a name to their sources. And these are people that are legislating our lives every day. But we're talking about a Jaylen Brown situation. First of all, let me be very clear. There was never an issue. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because what I did was say, this is what they're saying about him. The same exact segment, just so y'all know, because I know y'all got on me about it. I said, quote, I don't believe this. But this is what they're saying, right? So we go to Dallas. His mama, his grandma, and his brother roll up on me. Thank you. That's what they rolled up on me to say. Because they needed to hear it. I was saying to folks, do you understand what's being said about this brother? This brother was literally compromised in the NBA draft because he was too brilliant. They were saying he's too smart. He'll question everything. He's gonna challenge us on shit. He's gonna expose our ignorance.
Too smart.
This is what they were saying about him before he got drafted. And so he comes into the NBA. They are making a run for a title. Before the age of 28, he had been to 5 conference finals. 5. The brother balling, averaging over 20 a game. He had just signed for over $300 million and didn't have an endorsement. Model citizen, cares about the community, goes back to Oakland, contributes to that community, literally goes to MIT, investigating black issues and black causes to help uplift the depraved and impoverished in our nation, got white cats supporting him in doing so, never in trouble, and he don't have one endorsement deal. I said, how you explain that? And I was looking at y'all and I was saying, fellas, I understand what you're saying about getting on me, but are you hearing what I'm saying? I'm not saying it. I'm tipping him off to what they're saying about him. Then he sits down with me and he confesses he thinks it got something to do with Nike, that he was on Team USA, because I was like, how the hell is he not on the Olympic team? How are you you Jaylen Brown, and 2 dudes who spend 82 games a year deferring to you, and Drew Holiday and Derek White on the Olympic team ahead of you? How? How? It can't be basketball. So what I was doing was what I always do. I was tipping you off. I wanted everybody to know this is what they're doing to him. Who it is, we don't know specifically, but we know that the industry has blocked him. Why are we not talking about that? Instead, we got a bunch of cats talking about Stephen A. Goddamn, Stephen A., you dog. What? I'm like, no, I'm not dogging him. I was looking out. So when he finally sat down with me, he was like, he started talking about the sources who were trying to hurt him. He wasn't talking about me. He was talking about people that had the audacity to say that about him. And the only reason, it wasn't like it was somebody from it was, you have agents who negotiate these deals that connect with these people that are saying, this is why we can't market him, this is why we can't sell him. What have we been lamenting for decades? Black men who are intelligent and articulate and are empowered to represent themselves. They always have the most trouble. Why is it a big deal that I just signed this deal? Because it usually doesn't happen for black men who are outspoken. So if we know this, and history has shown us this, why would we then look at the messenger and say, yo, we got a problem with you when I'm tipping you off to what's happening? That's where I was coming from.
It's the insinuation that you leave open for interpretation. Because there's no, hey, if you're gonna tip me off, tell me everything. Right. Hey, listen, if you the homie, don't tell me what them niggas over there talking about. Yeah. I don't want you to bring that over here to me and be like, hey, yeah, this is what they said, woo, woo, woo. And I'm like, you sat there and listened to the whole thing? Mm-hmm. Damn.
It wasn't the whole thing, it was just a text.
No, I'm just saying as far as the context of how we function, that's our context. It's like, damn, bro, you sat there and listened to him say all of that and you ain't say nothing, you ain't back me up. Well, I don't really know you like that. So I'm just telling you what they saying. Right. And then you're like, hey, sorry, who is they then? Let me go get at them, because they lying. Hey, listen, I can't tell you who they is, bro.
And sometimes all you hear is he's not marketable, so the other stuff.
And then you take out of account the fact that Jaylen Brown may say to all of those endorsement deals that you want him to sign, and you think that's good for him, that Jason Tatum got. He's saying, nah, I want that. Nah, I want that. Now I got my own shoe. I got my own brand. Yeah, I'm gonna go start my own shit.
Remember, he was on the record telling you, it was public that he was butting head with some of the sneaker companies.
Nike.
Yeah. It was public that he had a problem with how he was treated. And so
Black Lives Matter, he got pushed back from being an activist during the season, all that shit.
Right, but what I'm saying is that stuff was out there. So when the text message came through, it didn't get into the weeds specific. It was a general perspective about what they felt. So what I was saying was, yo, this is how they feel about him. It ain't right. There's no excuse to feel this way about him. And if you can't market this brother, what does that say about the rest of us? Or what does it say about people that you're choosing to market? What is it that they are that he's not? But that warrants a discussion that's provoked by platforms like mine, like yours, and various others. If we keep it silent, nobody talks about it, and then they get to keep doing it.
But is it fair for Jaylen Brown to not want to be like everybody else and get what everybody else is getting?
I totally agree with that.
He got $300 million to not want to do all of that other shit?
But what you're arguing about is what he has a right to and to not feel. What I was talking about is, this is their justification for this. It ain't right, but this is what they're saying. Deal with that reality and then fight from there, because now you know the bullshit they saying about you. Would you not rather know? That's like I ain't gonna say his name. I have somebody that's a coworker. He's an executive. And he's the kind of cat, you can't tell me the source, then don't fucking tell me nothing. I don't wanna know. His ass out of a job. Because when you're an executive, there is a game that's gonna be played with or without you. And with or without you, the game's gonna be played. So now you got a decision. Do you wanna climb? Do you wanna ascend? And if to do that calls for you not to play the game, but to be hip to the game so you don't get lost in it, you gonna ignore that? Or you gonna get the intel so you're hip to the game and you know what minefields to avoid? That is what comes with it. And if you can't deal with that, you don't belong in the game.
But it's the timing. Remember the timing of the information that was let out, the Olympic situation. And you looking at a situation where Jaylen Brown is like, damn, where all this coming from? So the information comes out, he don't make the Olympic team. And everybody's looking at him and like, this is the reason why you didn't make the Olympic team. Because now this accumulation of information is now available to everybody to just insinuate, well, what's the reasons why he's not getting endorsements? He's not likable. He thinks he's arrogant. He's too confident. He's too smart. Yeah, and then it's like, oh, he walking around with the smug shit. And it's like, well, when you're smarter than other people, that's how it fucking goes.
And what I'm saying is that that's a beautiful thing for us to know, because how could you possibly justify with a straight face holding the brother back because he's smart?
That's it.
And he's intelligent and he's gonna ask the right questions, and he ain't gonna just take any song and dance you throwing in his face. So that's why you holding him back. That's a discussion that somebody like him, and I know this for a fact because once I saw him face to face and we talked about it, he embraced it like that. It was like, yo, I see this shit.
Yeah.
I see what they doing, but he may not have known.
Well, imagine if ESPN actually runs the story of Jaylen Brown being a fucking genius instead of being a guy you can't market.
Yeah.
Imagine that narrative during the Olympics instead of, which did the reasons why. I think that's the disconnect between some guys that are actually trying to do the right thing the right way and guys who get away with shit.
But there have been stories run about him at MIT. There have been
100%.
stories run about him and his commitment to his community and how he made sure when he signed that contract, he had businesses committing to investing. We covered that press conference. So these things have happened. The problem is the viewing public, it don't stay with them like the other shit stays with them.
That's why we need like this show, like Inside Stuff used to be on, right? They used to highlight shit the
Yep.
guys was doing positive, right?
Yep.
Bring back some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Positive light on guys, man, and it's unfortunate.
But you also got to get cats that got to be, and I'm going to say this shit, you got to get cats that's mentally stronger. And in this regard, I
Yes.
mean this.
Oh, shit.
So you
Good-
got cats.
good luck.
So, yeah. So in this regard, this is what I'm saying. So let's just say for the sake of argument, because I'm not going to give any details. You talk about, it could be Black Lives Matter. It could be the riots that was taking place in the streets. You could see players coming together and, you know, trying to do some things, and they need all the help they can get, and they reaching out to the media. And a cat like me would be like, come on, First Take, talk about it. We don't have to talk about basketball at all. Fuck that nigga Stephen A. Smith. I ain't trying to come on his show. That's gonna do something for him. I'm like, what?
That happened?
What?
That's crazy.
Yes,
Yeah, that's crazy.
it's happened. I'm like,
That's
First
crazy.
Take.
That's crazy.
I'm here like we #1 for 13 straight years. This is the audience we have. You trying to promote this. It's a sports show. And I said, the hell with the sports. This is your story. It's bigger than me and you. Yeah, you don't like something I said, so what? You trying to promote this. You trying to make this happen. You trying to do X, Y, and Z. That's it. I said, come on. Numerous occasions throughout the years. Nah, that's going to help him. And I'm like, really? You haven't noticed that with or without your ass, I'm doing just fine? I'm trying to do this for you. I'm trying to do this for your cause. But that's their problem. See, we don't talk about stuff like that. It's like, what sense? Listen, we all know what happened with me and LeBron. All right? I don't give a shit if I never speak to him again in life. And I'm sure he feel the same way. If that man had something going on in Akron, Ohio with the kids, or out here with the kids, yo, man, we need Stephen A. help. What you need? It ain't got nothing to do with us. What you need? You know how many cats in the league won't do that? Y'all know that. Because they mad that you said something. They don't see the big picture. And nobody talks about that.
don't.
We just let them get away with it. But they do it all the time. And that's new. Because when you play times before y'all, no matter what kind of attitude, you can hate a motherfucker now. But if you had a higher calling, a higher issue to address, that superseded the individual animosity that may have existed, and you good. Not today. Because they like, yo, man, we don't need them. We got our own social media following. We can do this stuff ourselves. Really? Then why the hell you care so much about what other people got to say then? Come on now.
Self-awareness. Everyone don't have it.
And you gotta be comfortable.
Stephen A., we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule.
Yeah, man.
After 138 days, man of your word, pulled up to Gil's Arena. Pulled up to Gil's Arena. What? I've got some smoke for you now.
Am I
I'm
right
manning
with
the
that? Do I
smoke.
deserve the body bag? Am I right?
No, you
Am I
should have
right?
put it back there.
Ain't put it back.
The body bag has re-entered the arena.
No, we're gonna leave him out. We're gonna leave him
Thank
out,
you,
man.
thank
He
you, thank you.
survived.
Thank you, bro.
Body bag.
Survived the body bag.
Because I
We
never
appreciate-
seen nobody get as amped up
Right.
about LeBron than me. Like he really got like.
Did y'all just become best friends?
Fuck this nigga.
Did
So,
y'all
yeah.
just become best friends?
Nobody
But
back.
But everybody, make sure you watch First Take. Make sure you watch the Stephen A. Smith Show. Before we go, we got to do the Gillian subscriber giveaway. We are over 956,000 subscribers on the Gil's Arena YouTube channel, so we're giving away $3,000. Our 3 lucky winners. Mikey Ruthless, you are getting $1,000 courtesy of Underdog. Vino 6464, you're getting $1,000 courtesy of Underdog. Last but not least, Bird Shit. That is his Underdog name, Bird Shit. You are getting $1,000 courtesy of Underdog. And we just got word from the folks at Underdog that our special free pick for our viewers will be available for another 20 minutes. So take advantage of that if you haven't already. Click the link in the chat or scan the QR code. Again, thank you to Legend Stephen A. Smith taking time out of your schedule to come.
Thank y'all for having me.
To Gil's Arena presented by Underdog.
Y'all for having me.
This has been another episode of Gil's Arena presented by Underdog. Whoa, whoa! We will see y'all tomorrow.